shouldn't do that.
They should not do that, or at least not while the game's being played. I'm not sure Cal didn't send it. Free throw's good. Hogs are going to win it. Kentucky drops it into Washington. 2 seconds, 1 second. 3 at the horn is good, but it does not matter. It does not matter. The Razorbacks have knocked off Kentucky. Arkansas makes it 13 wins and 14 tries. They pull even with the Wildcats in the standings. And let's listen to them roar at Walton Arena.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from HitThatLine.com.
I hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just gotta keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
What a win for the Arkansas Razorbacks against the Kentucky Wildcats at home in front of a raucous crowd at Walton Arena. Brad Nessler on the call for CBS. It was a lot of fun to see Arkansas overcome a couple different runs that Kentucky had in the second half, and you pulled out a monster victory, which has you now with the lead. Technically, you're tiebreaker, but because you had that win over Kentucky, you're in second place in the SEC, just trailing Auburn, who lost to Tennessee this past Saturday. So who knows what can happen down the stretch this week. It's going to be a lot of fun to keep an eye on these games in the SEC leading up to Tampa starting next Wednesday for the SEC tournament. Arkansas participated in the Round Rock Classic this weekend for baseball. You got 2 wins in 3 games. Didn't have a great showing against Stanford, but you pulled it out against Louisiana last night late thanks to a good bomb from Jalen Battles. Also going to hear from Eric Musselman later on, hear what he thinks about this basketball team, the win. He's going to break it down, as well as Tom Murphy here on a Hot Take Monday.
Hot Take Monday, always brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. That's where you get the lifetime warranty on every new unit they sell at Wheels RV. Again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV. How about them Hogs? I mean, the home Hogs are at this point virtually impossible to beat. And what a day for J.D. Note. Unbelievable with 30 points.
Yeah, he was doing it on both ends of the floor, had a couple blocks, 8 assists, and not just 30 points, but the efficiency of 30 points, shooting 50%, 13 of 26, hit some threes, did it in a variety of ways, and even when he wasn't scoring, I think he scored or assisted on 45 or 46 of the team's points. That is a big statistic. That's over 50% of the team's total. This guy was all over the place, and he continues to climb up, at least to be in the conversation for SEC Player of the Year. I think Oscar Tshiebwe, the way he played and how he's been all season, that would not be disappointed at all if he was divvied out that award. But JD's going to be on some All-American lists this year because he is 4-0 against top 25 opponents. He has averaged 26 points in those games. He's shooting 46%, and he has 16 assists in those basketball games. This guy shows up in the biggest of moments, just like on Saturday.
And I can't think of a bigger stage or a bigger moment, Ty, than playing Kentucky, CBS. There's no other big games in the league going on. Tennessee, Auburn's at 3 o'clock. I mean, the eyes, at least, of the SEC, and I think because of Kentucky being in the game, a lot of eyes of the college basketball world were on Walton Arena, and you show up big. I mean, shots were going down. Kentucky couldn't defend them, couldn't stop it, and you had a co-game high of 30 in the ball game. So, best game. I don't think it's even a conversation. Best game we've ever seen J.D. Note play at Arkansas.
He was just filling it up from a variety of different spots. And what a great college basketball game itself. You had 17 lead changes, 5 ties. A lot of those came in the second half when Kentucky went on a little bit of a run. Because in the first half, you went on a 15-2 run to start the basketball game. They were getting hot early, and Kentucky couldn't get anything going. You were kind of confused why they weren't going into Oscar Tshiebwe early. He took a couple jumpers that I think Cal was just like in the post and do work. We saw what he did, particularly in the second half. But Jalen Williams, I'll give that guy credit. He played the second half sick. Musselman told us in the post-game press conference that Jalen was not fully healthy. I think Stanley or JD told us also that he was throwing up at halftime. So give the Fort Smith Northside Grizzly credit for gutting it out against one of the best big men in all of college basketball because they needed every single one. He had a point where he had 10 straight points for Arkansas in that basketball game in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, and for him to, like you said, the second half battling a little bit of illness, I thought Arkansas did a good job with help side defense on Tshiebwe and him being there. But Jalen, kind of gets overshadowed by the 30 points that J.D. Notae plays, and needs to be pointed out how good a game he had with just another routine double-double in the ball game. So
he keeps doing it.
Yeah.
He keeps doing it every single game, it seems like. And for him to have, again, he wasn't shooting well. At one point, I think he was 3 for 10, and then he started to knock down some free throws. Had a critical and one where Tshiebwe jumped on his shot, and he ended up taking him to the rim. Also got another foul drawn on him when he knocked 2 free throws down. Jalen had a stretch late in the second half that really was the thing that got Arkansas going kind of late, and they needed every one of those points because, again, it was as close as it gets. Ty Washington hits that shot at the very end, banks in a 3. Kentucky was down by 5, ended up making it by 2, losing by 2, so which is a bummer for everyone that had Arkansas 2.5. So for the bettors out there that had Arkansas, either if you had a money line, you were fine, but if you bet on them, even if you got them at 2, you pushed. So I guess that's better than nothing.
So that shot was meaningless unless you had money on the game, and then it probably meant a lot. But that half point, man, it comes back to bite you in the backside so often. But when we get to our best of the weekend, I got what I thought was a pretty entertaining story with someone who had a second half line on the ball game for the ending and how that shot affected him.
That's tough.
We'll talk about. Well, it was good for him, so we'll talk about that coming up.
He won money. Oh, that's good. Yeah, because I felt like a lot of people that I talked to lost money with it came to what happened to that Ty's final shot.
Yeah, so should be a fun morning. What did you think about the game? You can call or text us at 877-377-6963 and give us your thoughts on Saturday's game and the baseball weekend. We're brought to you by World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH is their phone number. Hey, if you are struggling to get internet and television service together, World of Wireless can help you with that. They're partnered with all the major internet providers. Plus, in rural areas, they have their own high-speed fiber-to-air service. No throttling, no data limits. They're expanding new areas right now, working east of the River Valley or east in the River Valley in the Subiaco area. But go to wowfastinternet.com and find out if you live in the coverage area of WowFast Internet. Get fiber-to-air service cheaper than your current provider and much better service. That's wowfastinternet.com. Baseball team goes to the Carbach Classic, and Round Rock, Texas wins 2 of 3. Weather delayed it to a doubleheader yesterday, Ties. Those that were looking for the game on Saturday night following basketball couldn't find it. The weather down there and the field conditions kept that. Yesterday they lose the first, and the one that probably was most meaningful to Stanford, 5-0, then come back and win the nightcap against Louisiana.
Yeah. Did you watch any of it? Did you pay for it?
With the weather last week, all the high school regionals were pushed back, so Saturday and Sunday was a full day of working basketball for me.
I watched game 1 on against Indiana, but I did not watch any of the other 2 games. I just read about it from various different websites here, so I'm going to do my best to kind of tell you what happened this morning. But I know that Jalen Battles had a big-time hit last night that kind of got that team going a little bit. So a little disappointing outing because we talked about how Stanford, top 10 opponent, you're matching up, and you just couldn't hit.
Couldn't get the timely hit.
Yeah.
You had bases loaded in the ninth and in the ball game 5-0, but timely hitting once again. And Dave said after the game he doesn't think his team's playing too well right now. But it's into February. It's probably not the best time to be playing great.
Or to judge your team this early. So I know there's a lot to be done, a lot to work on. I know Phil will have better in-depth conversation about that later on today. But like Tommy said, if you have any opinion on the Round Rock Classic or the Arkansas win over Kentucky, Tom's going to give us his opinions coming up at 7:20 this morning. You're more than welcome to as well. What a win for Arkansas. They have officially locked up a top 4 seed at the SEC tournament. Big-time win for Muss.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV. Highway 4.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase in dire straits originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why he feels so far away." Jesus said the passage to God is a narrow way, and he promised when he went so far away, the Holy Spirit would be here to stay. This isn't some hunch or intuition, but a conviction navigating you to God's holy word. When you have a real relationship with God, you have the person of the Spirit living inside you, guiding your walk of life every step of the way. Don't trust your feelings. Look up John chapter 16 and see if it sends you reeling. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage, is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479.
Ball and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
JD, right elbow, dribbles in traffic to the floor, nearly lost it, throws it out to Williams. Amude, left wing three, and it's good.
Watch the Morning Rush on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Just search Hit That Line.
Back here on the Morning Rush, talking more Arkansas baseball and basketball. Again, you're welcome to jump in here, 877-377-6963. We are brought to you this morning by Razorback Camper Sales. Spring camping season is almost here. And Razorback Camper Sales is ready for you with travel trailers, fifth wheels, and pop-ups. They also offer full prep and setup at no extra cost, so you can leave the lot and start camping immediately. You're going to have the access to the best parts and service department in the state. It is the oldest family-owned RV dealer in Arkansas. They've been in business for over 50 years. Come see why our customers are always happy campers in Hot Springs or online at RazorbackCamperSales.com. Now, you were saying the site crashed for Flow Sports, or that someone was telling you.
I just read a bunch of people complaining about they'd spent $30 and that Friday night they couldn't watch the game because there was some kind of temporary halt or problem with it. So I guess it got back up.
So when Zach and Paragold said baseball was hard to watch, it was being quite literal. It
might have been.
It was hard to watch because he could not get it on his app. But I think the game against Stanford where you got beat 5-0, and you mentioned the bases loaded. Anytime you have bases loaded and you don't get anything out of it, it's always disappointing. Timely hitting is a term associated with baseball that you really, really want to be able to have, and you just didn't this, particularly in that game. Now, again, give credit to Jalen Battles for the part of the success that he was associated with last night, but yeah, the Stanford showing was not what you wanted out of this weekend.
No, their left-hander, and Arkansas has struggled. How long is Arkansas? We've talked about left-handed pitching, giving Arkansas fits. Quinn Matthews, they had a lefty on, struck out 10 Razorbacks, only allowed 2 hits over 6 innings while he was in, and Arkansas could not get anything going. So that was a big problem. Hagen Smith came in. He lasted 2 1/3 innings before he was driven out of the game. So, that was the problem. Then at the end, I'm listening to it on the radio, and Arkansas's got bases loaded, and I don't know if they can get 5 runs in to tie the game and extend it, but they couldn't even get the timely hit that they needed, and it ended the game at the bottom of the ninth with some more stranded runners.
Yeah. So the baseball team, at least in that game, didn't stand out and show out, but the basketball team sure did. Against Tommy was talking about it being the CBS game, a lot of people in attendance watching in person and watching on television because it is the brand of Kentucky basketball. That was a big showing for a number of reasons. And you also had Nick Smith Jr. and Jordan Walsh in attendance, which they were on at center court calling the Hogs, but there's a couple other guys that were in attendance. Bayfall, who's the best center in the class of 2023, his cousin, Hassan Diop. You also had Landrin and Layden Blocker. Layden, both those guys went to Little Rock Christian. Layden's now at Sunrise Christian in Kansas playing there. They're the best team in the high school circuit right now. Landrin's his little brother. They're both, I know Layden's a 4-star. I think Landrin's going to be or is it's one of those two, but a lot of guys in attendance for that game, and how many more were watching on television. We'll get into some Eric Musselman audio coming up, but anytime you have an atmosphere like that, it makes it that much easier to bring a kid in for an unofficial or official because he wants to be a part of something like that.
A day full of big games, and it was a massacre at the top of the polls this weekend. Yeah. Now, it wasn't as bad as it sounds, but there were a lot of ranked teams playing ranked teams this weekend. But at 1 o'clock, you kind of had the stage to yourself. Kansas-Baylor was later on. In this league, Tennessee-Auburn was later on. So I think because of the time slot, you did have a lot of eyes on you. There wasn't a lot of, competition around college basketball at that moment. But there were a lot of big games, and we know kind of what happened in the top 10 over the weekend. Some of those were other ranked teams. The lines were pretty tight on those ball games. There were really only 2 massive upsets amongst that top group. But nonetheless, I think you had – so a great weekend of college basketball. It was kind of like one of those big October weekends where everyone gets upset in college football. It kind of had that feel a little bit on Saturday as Gonzaga goes down, Arizona goes down, Kentucky goes down. Auburn goes down. You go through the list. So
it keeps going.
It's a big weekend of upsets in college basketball.
Over and over again. So Gonzaga loses to St. Mary's late on Saturday night. Arizona loses to Colorado. Kentucky fell to Arkansas. Auburn falls to Tennessee. Texas Tech falls to TCU. Who's the other one?
Well, you had Kansas and Baylor. That's Kansas not technically an upset, but you've got one of those teams.
Was the other one, because they were number 5 and
right.
Baylor was 10. So, that was the other one. Yeah. Hadn't heard from this guy in a while. Let's welcome in Forest City Joe from the eastern part of the state. Forest City Joe, you are on the Morning Rush, man.
I'm loving this, guys. I am loving this. unsung heroes for this game, in my opinion. Those 8 minutes Kamani Johnson put in playing against this big guy from Kentucky were key spots in this ball game. And he held his own the times he was in there. So I want to give Kamani a shout-out. And another shout-out. Note is a known big shot getter for the Hogs. And he's been doing it all year. But in the last 2 or 3 ball games at Florida and then this game Saturday against Kentucky, Amude has hit 3 big shots to put Arkansas up. He did it at Florida when he hit that shot from the top of the key from about 25 feet. And then this game, he hit 2 big 3-pointers late in that fourth quarter. I got to tell you, this guy's becoming a big shot guy now. No, he's not consistent when it comes to scoring and all that. But he's hitting big shots when it counts, when the game's on the line. And I just want to congratulate Coach Musselman and the Hogs. This is unbelievable what we're watching. Mm-hmm. Anyone who saw this team, guys, early in the year, there's no way in hell they could have dreamed. After starting 0-3 and losing to people like Hofstra and all these folks, that this team would be sitting here at 23-6 and 12-4 in the SEC. Could you guys have dreamed this?
No,
I couldn't.
At Forest City, Joe, you're like I said, you're 13-1, but just you think about A&M and Mississippi State and Vanderbilt, and you have to go to the thought, if you could have just won one of those, the way things look now in the standings. Now, losing those 3 may be the reason you went 13-1 over the last 14, but you just think about the price you're paying with those 3 games right now in reference to the SEC tournament. But we can't clean up the spilt milk. We can't cry over it now.
No, you can't change what's happened. I'm talking about what they're doing now.
Yeah.
And this team, right now, if it continues to play defense, and that's his main calling card is defense,
mm-hmm.
he can beat anybody at any time. I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's great and going to win the national championship, but he's got a shot, in my opinion. If he plays defense, stays healthy, and plays his A game when he gets to this tournament, he's got a chance to get in that Final Four. And if you get there, you got a chance to win. I'm excited about this team because I'll be honest with you, I was one of the people earlier that just didn't see it. But defense, the lineup Musselman made, and he just seemed to be pushing the right buttons, Ty Richardson, right now.
Yeah, he does. And
working.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right, Forest City Joe. Sorry, we got to cut you off. And a quick note on Stanley Mude, Forest City Joe. I asked him in the post-game press conference, Stanley, your best games have been on the road this season. How'd you hit 3 threes today? And it's just like, man, I got in the gym and was just shooting. So credit to him. He hit 3 massive threes in that basketball game and a couple pull-up jumpers as well. His presence when he is added as a third scorer along with Jalen Williams and J.D. Notte, it's crucial for this basketball team.
Do you know that local service is the only kind of service they have at Farm Credit? Their local branch staff who make and close your loan are the same people that are servicing your loan for the life of the loan. So from payment 1 till the final payoff, they are there for you. All the loans stay in the Farm Credit of Western Arkansas portfolio right here in Arkansas, and they never, ever, ever, ever sell a loan to a third party. Stop in your local Farm Credit office or go to myaglender.com and get the details about the local service you can expect from Farm Credit. That's myaglender.com or a local Farm Credit office near you.
Quick hitting headlines coming up, plus your reactions like Forest City's Joe on the win over Kentucky.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Eagles Nest is coming in hot.
Takes great work ethic to make any job last 10 years, especially one in the NFL. Hi, this is Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. I spent 10 years playing in the NFL. Now I bring that same work ethic to Henderson Phillips to provide you and your business with the best employee benefit plans for the best prices. Call or text me at 479-651-2292, and let's talk about getting the most value for your employee benefits. I am Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. Call me today at 479-651-2292.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
We're remixed and remastered at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Some of your favorite apps, drinks, and desserts are now even better the second time around. Check out the sizzling cheesy bacon mac and cheese bites, a blast from the past with a whole new vibe. Also back are the famous Fridays fried mushrooms and the ultimate cheesy bacon cheeseburger. And all new at Fridays is the Oreo Madness, house-made giant Oreo cookies with cookies and cream ice cream coated in red and white sprinkles, served with chocolate sauce and a fresh strawberry. Come by or order online. It's your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
At Frank Rowe Furniture in February, already marked down low sale prices plus no sales tax. That's right, you heard it right. A sale plus no sales tax. For instance, a recliner regular $6.99, sale price $5.99. With no sales tax, $5.39. That's a savings of $160. Frank Rowe Furniture offers in-store no credit check financing, SNAP, and ASEMA financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Farm Credit has been a trusted friend for over 100 years. They are ag financing experts. So whether you're a longtime farmer, new to farming, or buying your dream home or land in the country, their experienced staff has a plan to fit your goals, needs, and your bottom line. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal opportunity lender.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
You have a job, kids, and a million things to do in no time, and now your car needs to be serviced or fixed or tires? Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier. Free shuttle service. Pickup delivery service free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier and take better care of your vehicle at the same time. Hi, Kim Bircher. See, the thing is, Jody'sAuto.com does everything. Everyday oil change specials. Tires are price matched, including the warehouse clubs and all the best brands. Any services, brakes, alignments, all the way to engines, and any maintenance. You are trusting your vehicle to a local company in business for 37 years. Voted best of the best time and time again. Honesty and customer service is always our #1 goal. We will make your life much easier. Jody'sAuto.com. JODYS Auto.com.
River City Bistro is Fort Smith's favorite place for lunch, dinner, and brunch. Open 7 days a week, both on the patio and cozy dining room. River City Bistro, locally owned and open weekdays 11 till 8, Saturdays 10 till 8, and Sundays 10 till 3. Want River City Bistro curbside to go? Just search on Facebook or Instagram for River City Bistro or go to rcbistro.com. River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
5:29 to play in the half. 28-17 Razorbacks. Note left side of the lane. Floats it over Sheboy. A little teardrop from Note. 30-17. It's the J.D. Note Show right now.
Have you listened to Trusting the Process on the Hit That Line podcast network yet? Check it out on hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
Chaz of Fayetteville text in. Great text. Hogs have it going right now in Bud Walton Arena. No one wants the smoke. Kentucky didn't want the smoke. I was listening to Kellen Grady and John Calipari on Friday, and Cal's never one to give credit to other teams. He's always talking about his team, which I was used to, but I was listening to Kellen talk a little bit in this pregame, basically, press conference. He was like, yeah, we've been to tough atmospheres before, blah, 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 blah. It's just, you don't know what it's like until you step foot and the game tips off. It's just different in that arena, man.
You don't think Kentucky's played in environments like that before?
No, they haven't.
You think it was louder Saturday than it was when he got ejected? No.
There's the majority of the players. So Keon Brooks was on that team, but the majority of those players are not on that team still. That's it.
I hear what you're saying. You want to pump up Bud Walton, and it was a great atmosphere. It was one of the best ever, but it's not like Kentucky doesn't face that everywhere they go.
But it's not Bud Walton, man. It's not.
Well, I know, but we're biased too. So.
But you're the one that always gets up on the grandstand and said Bud Walton Arena's the best. It's just not the same atmosphere. When you you step foot into that palace, that place, when a top 10 team comes in, there is nothing that compares outside of Lawrence, Kansas, now in Fieldhouse, maybe Cameron Indoor. There is not a single comparison in the Southeastern Conference that holds a candle to that arena.
I agree with that. I just thought you were saying Kentucky wasn't ready or has never faced or they were overwhelmed. I don't think Kentucky got beat.
Did you watch the first half? They were overwhelmed. They didn't know what they were doing. They were almost they pissed themselves in the first half.
I don't know. They just strategically wouldn't go inside for whatever reason.
Toppin was dribbling the ball off his leg. I mean, they had like couple 2 or 3 turnovers in the first 3 or 4. It was a 15-2 run. They wet the bed early. They were not initially. They were not ready for that basketball game.
No question about that. I mean, for whatever reason, they would not go inside to Sheboy early. They kept trying to make outside shots, and they weren't going in. But I won't go as far as say Kentucky was unprepared or was overwhelmed by the environment. It was a great environment. But I think Kentucky is used to playing in front of the toughest crowd. Toughest crowd John might have been in front of was at Herman's on Friday night. Did you see that video?
Yeah, they were calling the Hogs in front of him.
At Herman's. That was pretty cool. Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Lifetime warranty with every new RV they sell at Wheels RV. So everything on the lot when you buy a brand new one is going to come with a lifetime warranty. It is RV show season. You can save big right now at Wheels RV. Again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
You know who he was with for dinner?
John Tyson.
How are they friends? What's the connection there? Do you know?
I don't know the connection, but and the only reason I know that is because that's what Cal put in his tweet or his social media post that's who he's having dinner with. Great spot though. I mean, there's few if any better than Herman's on a Friday night before a big game.
Let's hear what Danny in Russellville has to say about this game. Danny, go ahead, man. You're on the Morning Rush.
Hey, good morning, guys. Ty, I agree with you. There's no place like Bud Walton. There's not. We are the gold standard. And I watched the post game from the Auburn game, the Tennessee game, and the Kentucky game. Eric Musselman was very complimentary of Tennessee, Auburn, and Kentucky. And he said all 3 of them are good enough to make the Final Four. I watched the post game from Calipari. We did not play well. We had one guy that played, and we still won the game. That was the thing. Against Tennessee, it was the referees ripped us off with all the charges. And Bruce Pearl said we did not play well. We did not win the game. Not one thing about Arkansas maybe having something to do with you playing bad. So, in my opinion, we should beat these guys every time we get a chance, because not one word about the great atmosphere at Bud Walton, because they're jealous. They're absolutely jealous. They're not going to say a word because they don't have that atmosphere. Tennessee has got a great atmosphere. It's not Bud Walton. But anyway, guys, you have a good day, and thanks for taking my call.
Appreciate it, Danny. Yeah, Thompson Bowling was pretty rowdy on Saturday when they defeated Auburn. I'll give them credit. But like Danny said, it's just not. The crowd, the energy. Thompson has a few. What's Thompson? Is it 21 or 20?
I don't know, but it's larger.
Slightly larger than Arkansas. But Bud Walton, you ask any coach, any player opposing or on the team, they're going to tell you that Bud Walton gets louder. Heck, after the game, I'm trying to make my way to the press conference, and you know how it is at late games. They're sitting in the media row. It's gridlock.
Go all the way down there in the corner and over it. By the student section.
You can't get through, and so I'm sitting there next to Mike.
Sometimes you go up to the concourse, just take the elevator
down. That's what we
down.
did. Yeah, that's what we did. We just walked down the stairs, and I'm sitting there next to Mike, and he's just smiling at me and looking at me.
Mike Irwin?
Mike Irwin, okay. Yeah. And I was like, what? And he goes, he's doing this for 46 years. Bud Walton's been around since 93. And he said when Devo, with about 14 seconds left, Devo gets a pass from Audie's Tony after a rebound or something and starts dribbling up court, gets fouled. He said it is that, and dead honest, looks me in the eye, said it's the loudest he's ever heard Bud Walton Arena. And I know in the moment, sometimes you overthink or you do whatever, but Mike typically isn't like that. Mike factors in. I mean, he's got so many games, so much history that he's been a part of. I'm 27, and I did this at that point because it was as loud because I didn't want my eardrums to get blown out. But it was insane at how crazy that atmosphere was during that game.
I'm not arguing. I'm just saying I don't know if that's the reason Kentucky lost the game.
No, it's not. It's the
Arkansas
team
was better.
Yeah.
Arkansas was better. That's all I'm saying is Kentucky has faced tough atmosphere everywhere they go. They're the ticket. They're the ticket that every opposing fan base wants. They get the best shot. I think Arkansas is the best shot in college basketball as far as arenas. But the reason Kentucky lost Saturday, second to the crowd, first was the team. Arkansas's team played better than Kentucky. And I don't want that to get overshadowed in this talk about how loud it was. Yes, it's loud. It was imposing. But at the end of the day, Arkansas just outplayed Kentucky. Now, is crowd a factor in that? Absolutely. But let's give the team some credit for being better than Kentucky as well.
Don't mishear what I'm saying. I'm just giving J.D. Note, Jalen Williams, Stanley Moody, all these guys lavish praise. I don't want to take any away from that. I'm just kind of also giving credit to the crowd. Now, Jalen Williams gets 45 now charges on the season, takes one. I know a few of you thought there could have been 2 or 3 more called in that game. You have J.D. hitting a 30-piece on 50% shooting. The shark and saw atmosphere, and there's just a lot of good thing is you've locked up a 4 seed in the SEC tournament. That's a big deal. Double bye. You don't play Wednesday. You don't play Thursday. You don't play till Friday. We'll see how it ends up shaking out. Now, if they're the 2 seed, if they win out this week and they've got the head-to-head over Kentucky, if they're the 2 seed, they'll play in the early session along with the 1 seed. Not against the 1 seed, but the 1 and 2 seed play in that early session. The 3 and 4 seed play later that night, right?
I don't know. I think the 2 seed plays in the third game of the day.
So it's a 6 o'clock game
yes.
here?
6 Central. Yes.
Okay, so 6 Central, 7 Central. Pull that
1,
back.
then 3, then 2, then 2, then 3. 1, 4, 2, 3.
3. Is that how it's set up? Yeah. Okay, we'll double check that real quick. But I do wonder in this game how healthy looked like Severe Wheeler and Ty Washington. They're coming back after a week or 2 of sitting out. That was something that I was monitoring. They didn't look fully healthy. I know that Severe had a couple shots that he hit, but I'm curious if you match up with it again because you're likely to play Auburn, Kentucky. I think you're going to see one of those teams. Tennessee, you obviously will play them once again in their house in Knoxville this upcoming Saturday, but you're definitely going to see one of these teams going in Tampa. Now, I got a question. We heard Chuck and Z at the top of our open, and they voiced their opinion on them stepping out early. Did you have an opinion on Kentucky sending their guys off? What I can only assume for the precautionary safety reason.
It was not unsporting, I didn't feel. I thought it was safety. They weren't walking away because they didn't want to shake Arkansas's hands. They were concerned there would be a rush on the floor, which I think Arkansas was pretty clear they weren't going to let happen, or they were trying to guard against that. They didn't want another court storming this year. So, but Kentucky, again, they're the kind of program when you beat them and they're highly ranked, student crowds rush onto the floor. So it is dangerous. So I can see why Kentucky would leave the bench. I didn't take it as them thumbing their nose at Arkansas or being disrespectful. I thought, and how would you like to be one of the 5 that are left on the floor? Oh, the rest of these guys, you want to take care of them, but
not me.
Not me. I'm out here on the floor. Everybody else leaves. So that'd be kind of a lonely feeling. But I didn't think it was disrespectful, but I didn't think it was necessary either for what Kentucky was doing.
Yeah, Yurachek was pretty vocal on Friday, putting stuff out on social media, and I didn't think that the students would rush the court based on some of the ones that I talked to. Now, you've got the matchups pulled up, Tommy. What does the Friday look like now?
The Friday looks like the number 1 seed in the tournament will play at noon. The number 4 seed plays at 2. As we were talking about, the 2 seed plays at 6 o'clock, and then 8 o'clock the number 3 seed.
So if you're in Tampa, that's Eastern time.
Those
so
are Eastern times.
It'll be 9 and
so it'll be 11, 1, 5, 7.
Okay,
here.
so those are Eastern time that it's got scheduled.
These are Eastern times. Up here it says they're Eastern.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So that's that'll be the matchups for this upcoming
So
weekend.
if you're the 2 seed, like we were talking about earlier, you will play in the game that begins the evening session at 5 o'clock Central Time against the winner of the previous day's Game 5.
We got a text from Robert.
7 or the 10.
Yeah, we got a text from Robert in Nashville and Dennis in Springdale asking if we'd seen the Moon guy. Now, I did not see this guy during the game do this, but when Oscar Shibwe is shooting a free throw, you have a guy that moons him in
right above the tunnel.
Yeah.
Where the teams go in. So, I mean, where Arkansas goes in is on the Arkansas bench, and so it would have been in the first half, I guess.
Yeah, you have a guy moon, and then either his girlfriend or wife didn't all the way up, but you could see her bra was flashing right next to him. So I don't know if they're going to be reprimanded for that. I don't think the woman would because she still got clothes on, but the man might. I don't know if anyone knows.
It'll be royalty, man.
So,
It'll be reprimanded. They're going to be royalty.
That was the reason I bring that up because Dennis in Springdale thought that we're better than that, and people flipping Kentucky off if they're leading the gym, and he feels like that the Bud Walton crowd is better than that.
More classy, class it up a little bit. But when I first got, I mean, just the minutes after the game was over, a group of buddies was sending that around. I didn't get I was like, what am I missing? I knew there was something. Where's Waldo? I couldn't find Waldo in the picture. I knew something was going on. It took me a minute to find because I wasn't really looking for a bare naked butt in the picture. That wasn't really what I was. They kept saying things, and I finally, you figured it out. But I did not get that one at first glance at looking at the photo. That now has become Razorback legend, I guess, over the weekend.
Does Yurachek need, when they do the renovations, do they need to figure out the tunnel situation? Because the entrance and not the entrance, the exiting portion for visiting teams is not a great setup. Is that something that they need to figure out?
Well, if you move the locker rooms, the one thing is all the locker rooms are on that side and that tunnel. The tunnel doesn't go all the way around underneath.
Yeah.
Is one thing. The other thing with the tunnel that needs to be done, there's from where the team goes out, what would that be? The south end, all the way out, there's a door to the loading dock. From what the experts have all said, that tunnel is not wide enough to get a 18-wheel tractor trailer down that ramp or something. They need to be able to bring things all the way through. So one of the things I've heard is on the list is widening that tunnel to have more access to the floor. So, would you like to have? I think if you were designing a new arena in the year 2022, and I think it's been this way for a while, you would like to have each bench closest to the tunnel, and a lot of places have a tunnel in each quarter. I think ideally you want the home team to go one way, the visiting team to go another way, and the officials to go a third direction.
You don't want a skirmish or anything because we had one that was at Mississippi State a couple years ago. Dusty
all
Hannis.
in that tunnel.
Yeah.
For a while they used to take both teams back into the same tunnel and not go across the court, and I think because of that they went the other way.
I think that's what Dusty told us. All right, real quick stats before we take Eddie in Clarksville's call. So you're 20th on KenPom. You're second in the SEC, tied with both Tennessee and Kentucky, but you hold the tiebreaker right now because you've beaten both the Vols and the Cats. We mentioned you've got a top 4 seed. You own the SEC tiebreakers as it stands. If Auburn drops a game this week and you win both, you're going to be the number 1 seed in the SEC. We'll see what happens. 4-0 against AP top 25 teams. 5-4 against quad 1s, 6-1 against quad 2s, 5-1 in quad 3s, and then 7-0 in quad 4s. So that's your standings right now against those opponents. You'll play a quad 1 team Wednesday night against LSU and a quad 1 opponent on Saturday against Tennessee.
We'll see what the AP poll does with the Razorbacks and all the upsets today, but the net rankings surprisingly did not move. I mean,
you moved
23 moved up from 24 where you were at game time, and I checked it after yesterday's games, and you're 24. Now, there may be a little bit of movement from the Sunday games, but I don't – and basically the top went unchanged too. Kentucky dropped to 4, Gonzaga still at 1, Arizona at 2, and I believe it was Houston at 3 in the latest net rankings. So even with, I don't know if all the upsets kind of stagnated movement in the net rankings, or there's so much data in over the course of 29 games that there's just not room for movement. But Arkansas did not get the big spike. I thought they'd go to 15, 16, 17, something like that in the net rankings. They may do that in the AP poll, which is ultimately meaningless, but the net rankings basically no movement, up one spot.
We'll talk about some bracketology coming up, but first, I know Eddie in Clarksville's happy. He was listening to Phil Collins in the air tonight during that Arkansas win, weren't you, Eddie?
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning to this great fan base. What a phenomenal showing by our fan base. And after Saturday, leave no doubt what the best basketball environment of all of college basketball, it's inside Walton Arena. And after the game, gentlemen, I was feeling the hit song by the lyrics written in 1954 by Big Joe Turner with a little blues in it called Shake, Rattle, and Roll. The fans were shaking. The recipe was baking inside Bud Walton. The roof was rattling, and a hog train was rolling. So that's what you get. Shake, baking, and rolling inside Bud Walton. And Kentucky felt it, too. I felt it Thursday, and they didn't even want to feel it no more when they walked off the court. I tell you what, this team, this is one of the biggest wins. Our program's had many great wins, and I've witnessed a lot of them. 5 Slamma-Jamma. You talk about the Fab Five. Well, Kentucky, anytime you can beat a great Kentucky team, it's a great win. And this team is rolling. Just keep doing what you're doing, because they're not going to give you no respect. You got to go take it. And this program is primed and rolling to go take it.
No, thank you for taking my call, man. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I'm too.
Yeah, disappointed. So I think they are primed. Question is, do you think this week you can see an upset with Auburn? I don't know. They play Mississippi. Who knows in this league, though? I mean, it'll be interesting to see. Can Arkansas, I guess here's the better question maybe, can Arkansas go 2-0 this week? Because they've got the toughest path. LSU and Tennessee are much tougher opponents than what Kentucky or Auburn have to play this week. So getting to the 2 seed, very, very possible. I think getting into this 3-way tie for first and Arkansas having the edge over the teams ahead of them, mathematically it's there. You can certainly paint the picture, but I don't know how likely that scenario plays out.
Yeah, Arkansas, again, would need to win both games this week. Auburn would have to either drop one against Mississippi State or against South Carolina at home, which I think the South Carolina is a lot less likely. Mississippi State has not played great on the road, though, so we'll see what happens. Now, Tommy was bringing up the craziness in college basketball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the number 9 teams in the AP pool all lost over the weekend. That has never happened in the history of college basketball for first time in the history of the game, which is pretty special. And I watched a glimpse of every single one of those games, some more than others, but a lot of great games that we had a chance to watch on Saturday.
And these go down, I guess, technically as upsets because the top-ranked team got lost. But a lot of these were narrow lines, or even the situation like Arkansas, where Arkansas was the home favorite. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, were they truly upsets? You could make that case. Clearly, Gonzaga getting beaten. I think Colorado beating Arizona are the biggest upsets of the weekend. The others were just great conference basketball games. But, Ty, what I was thinking about driving in this morning is I knew we were going to discuss this. Was this the perfectly timed wake-up call for all these top teams? Hey, kind of get your act together a little bit, tighten some things up before the NCAA tournament. Does this maybe guard against some of these top teams getting upset the first weekend of the NCAA tournament because they have tasted defeat right in front of the tournament so recent that maybe their focus is sharpened a little bit heading into postseason play?
We hope their coaches think that way. You hope the coaches think that about their team. I don't know what the psyche of the players is after losing some of these games, either at home or on the road, but I know their coaches want them to feel that way in that category. Bracketology-wise, we mentioned the setup for Arkansas's other rankings. Lenardi right now has you as a 5 seed. You're still not a 4 seed, but you're a 5 seed right now in his latest bracketology. So got to see where you continue to climb in that area. Wins against both LSU and Tennessee would really help boost that, I think. I don't know if you get to 4 line after this week if you win both those games, but you're trending in the right direction. Want to keep going that way. Now, here's some big news in the college football and NFL circuit. Andrew Marchand of the New York Post is reporting that Kurt Herbstreit is being considered for the lead role on Amazon Thursday Night Football. Apparently, Sean McVay turned down $100 million to not do it, to stay with coaching in the National Football League. I thought that was pretty telling.
Well,
but
you can always go to TV, but you can't always go to coaching. You know,
can you see Herbie as an NFL guy on Thursday night? His schedule's already jam-packed with College Game Day, doing spots for ESPN, the Saturday night game, whichever it is, on ABC with Fowler. That's asking a lot for a guy that seems like his schedule's already jumbled together and all he has to do.
That college football's his brand, not the NFL. Now, I mean, I'm not saying he couldn't do it, but he's not associated so much with the NFL or at all. I mean, he's a college football guy. So, would that resonate with hardcore, true NFL fans? Don't know. Maybe it brings in some more college fans. Cause I do think there's a chunk, not a big slice, but there's a chunk of people out there that they're not fans of both. You know, that NFL fans don't pay a lot of. There's some that don't pay a ton of attention to college football, and I know there's college football fans we know that, man, the NFL's kind of secondary. You just kind of watch it when you can.
Yeah. Going over some scores over the weekend, Florida beat Georgia 84-72 in Athens. Mississippi State edged out Vanderbilt. Ole Miss lost to Texas A&M in Oxford. We mentioned the Tennessee scores. They beat Auburn. Alabama beat South Carolina. Then LSU beat Missouri. Those were the games that took place on Saturday. The big-time games, though, were in the SEC was the Tennessee. What's crazy about this league is there's only one loss. I brought this up earlier. Kentucky is 17-0, Auburn's 15-0, Arkansas is 16-1, and Tennessee is 15-0 at home. So the top 4 teams are 64-1 at home in this league. The one loss, when the Razorbacks lost to Vanderbilt earlier this year, which if you had that, you'd have the tiebreaker in first place right now. And Arkansas was very
just
close
any
to
of those 3. That's what I was talking about with Forest City Joe earlier. I mean, you can't, it's spilt milk, you can't fix it, but I think you can also make the case without that 3-game skid and without losing those 5 of 6, are you 13-1 right now? I mean, is that what it took to get this team fully bought in, doing it exactly the way they've been doing it now, to get the coaches and the players on the same page? Whatever happened, maybe you're not the team you are now without some of that pain you experienced late December, early January. Very possible.
I think that's I think that's a thought that I'm not going to disagree with. Sometimes you need a little bit of losing in your life to remember. You try and remember what winning feels like. And I think this team, that 0-3 SEC start, man, they've been cooking 13-14 these last games.
Hey, great Monday to celebrate with Mexicali Monday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. You get a big, large grilled chicken breast topped with sautéed spinach, poblano cream sauce, and queso fresco. Then they add to that 2 cheese enchiladas. This is almost enough for lunch and then a to-go box for dinner that night. It's on special today. Plus, their ultimate margaritas are just $5. House margs are $3. Don't forget Taco Tuesday tomorrow. Wednesday for the game, it's half-price apps and taps from 5 to close. And, of course, all during the game on Wednesdays, Arkansas takes on LSU. It's all at Joe's Grill and Cantina, one of our favorite places to watch the game. Joe's Grill and Cantina, South 74th Street, across from Harps and Fort Smith.
One of the other great things about this weekend is they flipped an overtime Oklahoma State game to Arkansas.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Day 209 on the island. There is still no rescue in sight. I long for the simple comforts of home. The leather seats, the spacious interior, the 12.3-inch touchscreen display, and of course, the panoramic moonroof. I could only gaze through it one more time.
Jerry!
What?
Stop talking about your Highlander and help me with the raft.
Frank seems more agitated than normal lately. Could it possibly be because he, too, misses my Toyota Highlander?
No, Jerry, it's not because I miss your Highlander. And stop acting like I can't hear you.
Yes, that must be it. Comparing his sad raft to my sleek-looking Highlander has finally broken him.
Just stop.
Experience the unforgettable 2022 Toyota Highlander for yourself. Visit your local dealer or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at toyota.com for feature availability.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
In stock now and available for sales on these dates at the Golf Nut. TaylorMade Stealth Carbon Face Driver February 4th. Cobra LTD X Woods Hybrids and Irons February 11th. And Callaway Rogue ST February the 18th. They have a great selection of new shoes from FootJoy, Nike, Adidas, New Balance, Echo, and Puma. And don't forget about the golf balls from brands like Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway, Srixon, Bridgestone, and Vice. Check Facebook for daily specials. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your #1 golf shop since 1994.
It is here, fast, reliable internet from Wave Rural Connect. Cedarville, Uniontown, Natural Dam, and surrounding areas get fast fiber internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust based in Ozark, Arkansas. Internet starts at $49.95 a month, TV at $43.99, and phone at $29.95. Order now at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Do it now. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Hi folks, Matchmaker Larry Rath here with a sweetheart of a deal from Rath Auto Resources. I'm on a mission to help you find the nicer, newer car of your dreams. So if the thrill is gone with your old ride, come see the best selection of Rath Road Ready vehicles we've had in over 2 years. Each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Just find the one you love the best and let our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do the rest. With discounts up to $4,100 below retail and the highest trade-in values ever, you'll be head over heels for the deals too. Going to make it work with the car you have? Let us give it the attention it deserves in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. But hurry, this deal will be over quicker than your first crush. Start driving better today in a nicer, newer car you love from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Have you been looking for your next place to call home and just haven't found the right one? Then it's time to check out the properties at Trinity Multifamily. With a variety of apartments, duplexes, townhomes, and houses, there is surely one to fit your needs. Whether it's in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, or Central Arkansas that you are looking at, they have you covered. Give them a call today. Trinity Multifamily, 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunshine. Our high today will be in the lower 60s, mainly clear sky tonight. No night low, right around 35 degrees. Tuesday, lots of sunshine. Our high in the mid to upper 60s. Wednesday, sunny skies. Our high will be just over 70. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Mosquito Joe of Arkansas is an Arkansas-owned family business committed to making outside fun again in the natural state. For a mosquito-free yard this summer, call Mosquito Joe at 479-202-9960 or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
You're listening to The Morning Rush live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by The Fenceman. For custom-built fences, gates, and controlled access systems, call The Fenceman at 479-782-3936. The Fenceman. He ain't afraid of no work.
They're taking them off the
They are taking Kentucky off the floor early in case there's a rush. So the Kentucky bench is leaving early.
They shouldn't do that.
They should not do that, or at least not while the game's being played. I'm not sure Cal didn't send it. Free throw's good. Hogs are going to win it. Kentucky drops it into Washington. 2 seconds, 1 second. 3 at the horn is good, but it does not matter. It does not matter. The Razorbacks have knocked off Kentucky. Arkansas makes it 13 wins and 14 tries. They pull even with the Wildcats in the standings. And let's listen to them roar at Walton Arena.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
.com.
I hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just gotta keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes,
It is hour number 2 of the Morning Rush on a hot take Monday. Arkansas gets it done against the Kentucky Wildcats. I know a lot of you have opinions on this. One of the best parts, I think, was Oklahoma and Oklahoma State go to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
And you're sitting there as an Arkansas fan thinking, oh my gosh, how are we going to watch this game?
Yeah.
Well, much to many of y'all's surprise, they flipped it over and they sent OSU and OU to CBSSports.com or whatever their CBS Sports AQ or whatever it was.
Yeah, I think in Big 12 countries, if you were in Oklahoma City or Tulsa or Dallas or any of those Big 12 markets, they still stayed with that game. But the rest of the country went to see Arkansas and Kentucky. And I'll be honest with you, I'm glad Kentucky was the Arkansas opponent in that situation because probably many other opponents, CBS may not have pulled the trigger on making that move nationwide. So good because they don't have the options like ESPN does to send you to their app, to send you to their network. I mean, they're just not as set up and robust with different channels and options. They've got 2 channels, 1 app that's nowhere near on the level of the Watch ESPN app or the ESPN app. So, yeah, we got fortunate in that situation and got right to the game. It's Hot Take Monday. It's brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Every new unit at Wheels comes with a lifetime warranty. So when you're thinking about this and the maintenance and peace of mind with your purchase, you never have to worry about any of it with Wheels RV. Again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
Take JW in London's call first. He's got some thoughts on the Arkansas-Kentucky win this weekend. Go ahead, JW.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Hey, I'll tell you what. It didn't matter if you were in Bud Walton or listening on the radio or watching it on the television. Whenever that buzzer went off at the end, you had to have a feeling like you haven't had in a long, long time if you're out there in Razorback land. And another thing that happened this weekend is that we got to see, or listen to anyway, 3 good baseball games as well. It's kind of telling me something that I've been hoping for a long time. As Nolan once said, "When you get the monster, you got to feed it." And what I see coming down the pipe is that again, and it will be a few years down the road, where we have that national prominence again, and our primary rival will be the Texas Longhorns. I see that in our future across the board. In all sports, not just the one sport thing like primarily Kentucky is, But football, you think of Alabama for football more or less, and Georgia the same way. But Texas will be good in a bunch of sports, and they're going to become our new rival. So, Mr. Pittman, get those boys ready because I want to keep feeling that through football season as well. All right, gentlemen. And like I said, Woo Pig Suey, go Hogs, go.
You agree with that?
We get too greedy sometimes wanting all three to be national championship level. But listen, enjoy the moment. I mean, you beat Kentucky. You've won 3 big home games in your conference this year. Sometimes I think we just get greedy as fans, and we don't. We need to step back and just enjoy the moment that you're in, and enjoy this right now. Forget about the possibilities. And I get where you're coming from, JW. We always want more as fans, but Hunter Yurchek's got this athletic department set up in a nice situation. And what's it all come back to? Leadership, good coaches. Until you find the right way, we've seen what bad coaching can do. Now we're seeing what good coaching, what great coaching can do right now. Enjoy it.
Next caller, David in South Arkansas. David, go ahead, man. You're on the Morning Rush.
Good morning, gentlemen. Just what a great game that was to watch. Just a mental toughness about this team. Kentucky cuts it to 6 at halftime, come out in the second half, took a 4-point lead, I believe it was. We didn't wilt, didn't fade. I believe teams in the past might have done that. And what was awesome, I had the TV on, I was listening to them, and they were just going off on Williams in the second half. The guy who was with Nessler, I'll admit I'd never heard of him before, but he just kept saying, throw it in, throw it in. Williams can't be guarded. Williams can't be guarded. Just throw it in, throw it in. Just so much praise for Williams from that guy. And also regarding the crowd, there was a play, one of our guys, I cannot remember who it is, tried to throw it in, save it. The refs, of course, blew the whistle. Was he out of bounds? It went to a review, but they played that on TV, and you could not hear the whistle. The announcers even said that. They said nobody can hear the whistle. There's just entirely too much noise. But wonderful game, great game. Thanks a lot, guys.
Appreciate it, David. I think you're talking about the sequence at the end where Stanley Amude gets that block in the corner and Devo's trying to save it from going out of bounds, and we couldn't hear a whistle in the arena, and based on what you just said, you couldn't hear it on television either.
Now, the whistle itself stops the clock because the officials wear a device, and you see them punching a button on their belt to stop it, but they have a microphone attached that actually stops the clock. So that's the way the technology is supposed to work. On that play, though, the ball was ruled out of bounds when Davis saved it back in, but it didn't actually touch the line. It was obviously in bounds, and there was a lot of bodies flying through the air. That could have been a run out where Arkansas could have just ran it out, and that last set of free throws, that last 3-point basket, none of that may have even occurred because there was I think they put 5.5 back on, but there was 5.4 when they stopped it. Nonetheless, it all worked out, but that was an interesting sequence that changed the final outcome of the game as far as the margin and changed some people's financial situation on the game.
It wasn't Devontae Davis's best game, but he did make some big plays when it counted. I know he'd like to make all 4 of those free throws instead of just 2 of 4 down the stretch, but he did knock down those 3 free throws when he was fouled in the corner by Severe Wheeler, and I know that Eric Musselman liked his activity on both ends of the floor. Some of the guys that are unheralded and don't necessarily get the credit in this game, Trey Wade kind of got them going with those 2 dunks, including an and one. Great pass from J.D. Note. And then Audice Toney, he didn't have the best stat line, but the thing about Audice is whoever the opponent's best guard is who Audice is going to be guarding, and that was Kellen Grady. Grady got 3 shots, and the 1 3 he hit was a step back, fall away, corner 3 that not many people in college basketball can hit. Audice Toney needs to get credit for his defensive performance because he was all over Grady in that basketball game.
Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas this morning. Now's the time to get the backyard of your dreams going. Make the plans today with the design team at Burton Pools and Spas. They have an award-winning sales and design department. They can get you in the right situation. Right now, in-ground pools up to a $5,000 discount and rebate this month. That makes payments as low as $290 a month on a pool if that's the way you want to go. And like I said, an award-winning design team over there that can really give you a great design, show you exactly what your backyard would look like when the finished product's done from the crews that have been around for more than 40 years at Burton Pools and Spas. In Springdale, also in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas. They are your source for backyard fun.
When we come back, Tom Murphy's going to join us. Also going to spend some time talking about what happened in Round Rock this weekend with the Arkansas baseball team.
Hot Take Monday is brought.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase in dire straits originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why he feels so far away." Jesus said the passage to God is a narrow way, and he promised when he went so far away, the Holy Spirit would be here to stay. This isn't some hunch or intuition, but a conviction navigating you to God's holy word. When you have a real relationship with God, you have the person of the Spirit living inside you, guiding your walk of life every step of the way. Don't trust your feelings. Look up John chapter 16 and see if it sends you reeling. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage, is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase in dire straits originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why he feels so far away." Jesus said
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Note drives the paint, gets to the rim, off the glass, no good. Brooks with a rebound. Johnson stole it from him. Kick out. Amude, three-pointer, good.
Streaming live at hitthatline.com.
Two loudest points during the game on Saturday when Devontae, as I brought up earlier, about 14 seconds to go, is trying to dribble out the ball and gets fouled. And then when Stanley Amude hit that three, Kamani Johnson gets it away from Keon Brooks, passes it out to Amude, and Amude bangs one of his 3 threes. 40% is what Stanley Amude is shooting during SEC play. That is 6th best in this league. He has been on fire during this conference. You're going to continue to need him. Hopefully he'll have one of his spectacular road games in Knoxville this Saturday when you travel to take on the Volunteers, Tommy.
Bet it's going to be a big crowd tonight at Sassy's. It's the final Eric Musselman Live at Sassy's tonight. You can stop in. I imagine there'll be a lot of hungry fans that want to show up and celebrate another big home win. You can stop in at Sassy's for that tonight at Sassy's Barbecue and Grill, just off the Weddington exit on Steamboat Drive. That will be the radio show tonight. Sassy's Red House is on North College. That's the original location. Award-winning smoked wings, tender brisket, and pulled pork are all there for you, plus a great menu with some wonderful side options as well. So there's something for everyone on the menu at Sassy's. Again, Sassy's original Red House on North College and Sassy's Barbecue and Grill on Steamboat Drive, just off the Weddington exit in Fayetteville.
Billy from Fort Smith texted in his hot take this morning that Arkansas is not losing another game. A single game the rest of the way.
Well, aim high. Yeah.
What's more likely, that this team gets to a Final Four or that this team wins their next 5 games? So that would be the SEC tournament champion. They win LSU, Tennessee, 3 tournament games, including the SEC championship. So I throw out anything regular season rise. What's more likely, them get to a Final Four or them to win the SEC?
I think if you win the next 5, you're probably not going to the Final Four, would be my guess, because that would mean you'd have to win 5 more on addition to what you've already won. I mean, at some point you roll a 7. I mean, we didn't we just see that this weekend in college basketball? Didn't we just see a ton of ranked teams drop this weekend at the top 10? Some of those were larger upsets than the others, but I mean, ideally, I think you want to have a well-placed, well-timed loss heading into a tournament that you need to win 6 straight to cut down the nets at the end. So I don't know that you want that, to win all of them and win the SEC title.
You don't want your first SEC championship since 2000, the only other one you've won in the history of this program?
Get me Dave Van Horn on the phone real quick. Let me ask him about that scenario, see what he thinks about it.
But is baseball, because of pitching, is that the same as basketball? Because to me, let's be honest.
Like playing with a different point guard or big man.
If this team wins 5 straight games, are they a 2 seed? Because that's the question you'd have to ask yourself. If they win the next 5, could they climb as high as a 2?
Well, right now their net ranking's 23. I don't know that you can get your net ranking to 8 or better.
Okay. That at that point,
and not that they just take the net ranking and place them, but I think you would need your net ranking somewhere up there. If you go by just net ranking, Auburn's not going to be a 1 seed because they're like at 11 now.
I don't know what 10-4 and quad 1 wins get you, but that's likely where you'd be at.
Keep in mind that Kansas and Baylor had 10 quad wins going into the weekend before they played each other each. So, just to put it in perspective. But
what's a bummer about that is even if you did get a 2 seed, you're probably not overtaking Kansas or Baylor to play in Fort Worth.
What you don't want to be is a 5, right? Because then you got to play that tricky, slippery, slicker than the ice we had on the ground last week 5-12 game, which always seems to be problematic for a lot of teams.
I think that's the percentage of all the percentages in the NCAA tournament. That's the one that has the highest upset of the kind of larger differentials. That 5-12, I think 6-11 is up there as well. But yeah, that's one that you want to keep an eye on. Now, real quick before we get to Tom, baseball beat Indiana 5-2, lose to Stanford 5-0, beat Louisiana 6-4. Jalen Battles 3-run home run late, 8th inning is what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, 7th or 8th. I was reading that earlier. Yeah, I mean the disappointing thing for me for the weekend was the Stanford game. 2 hits. You get the against their starter. Their lefty, just Matthews, caused you a lot of problems. You get the bases loaded with nobody out in the bottom of the 9th, down 5-0, and can't play to run. I mean, that, right now just not getting timely hits, and that's what we've seen through the first 2 weekends is the lack of timely hits. They lose that game 5-0. But Quinn Matthews, their lefty, was just problematic. Struck out 10.
It's like you said, always a lefty that seems to give
lefties
Arkansas
cause
fits.
problem. I mean,
not just for Arkansas, but just hitters most of the time.
But the Hogs loaded the bases, 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. He weathered that storm, couldn't get out of there. Again, 9th inning after they had gotten him out of the game, still couldn't get anything. So that was, I guess, the one where you were hoping to measure yourself against another top 10 team, and you come up short 5-0.
And it's early, like we brought up. There's some areas of issue with this baseball team that Dave Van Horn and his staff will hopefully resolve once SEC play continues on. I think the Stanford losing 5-0, getting blanked in a game that a lot of fans were excited about. This team's probably not the second best team in the country where D1 baseball had them, and they're going to drop. I haven't seen, or maybe they have dropped. I haven't seen the rankings just yet, but they're not, and that's okay. They're still a good baseball team, and Dave Van Horn would rather them get hot late than get hot and kind of mosey out early, so we'll have to wait and see.
In Dave we trust, kind of like in Muss we trust. I mean, you got to
Denny Crane, what did you always say?
You've got Denny. I mean, exactly. I mean, Dave will figure this out. The talent's there. I mean, we've seen this is not the time to be playing red-hot baseball. And we have seen teams that have went to Houston and played other elite teams, did well, and it didn't work out at the end. It's all about what happens in June that matters. All right, coming up, we're going to talk to Tom Murphy in just a second. Our friends at APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group are looking for ready-mix drivers in Northwest Arkansas, Fort Smith, and in Harrison. They've got locations everywhere, but that's where they need ready-mix drivers with CDL license without an automatic restriction. They've got a big sign-on bonus, profit sharing that you'll get a piece of every year, a great benefits package, top pay, and a great team environment with growth opportunities. So you can apply today online at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group are equal opportunity employers.
Tom, good to have you as always. JD Notte has had his biggest and best games against ranked opponents this season, averaging 23 points, got 16 assists, shooting 46%, and his team is 4-0. He's done it on ESPN2 against Auburn, on ESPN against Tennessee, and on CBS against Kentucky. How much praise and adulation do you think he's going to get from AP voters, maybe being a second or third team All-American this year?
Good morning, everybody. That's a good question. And he'll probably get some down-ballot stuff from voters. But unfortunately, Oscar Tshiebwe is on track to, have the first average of 15 points, 15 rebounds since I want to say it was 72 or 69. I mean, 2 guys did it. And so the Kentucky people, they're such snobs about this stuff that I even heard somewhere on their radio broadcast Saturday that if you don't vote for Oscar Tshiebwe for, National Player of the Year, something's wrong with you. And so, but look, Notte's had a fantastic year. I think the really cool thing about him, or interesting, is he's got this kind of a no conscience approach. So he could miss four 3-pointers in a row, but he's still going to take the next one when he's open. And that's just a scorer mentality. And I love the way he takes people, even, he goes up against big guys. He took Kessler all the way to the paint and had a shot that you can't even describe. It was a one-handed floating teardrop shot that he put in over him. So the kid's just been scoring all his life, and he's a big reason why the Razorbacks are in the position they're in.
Tom, I think the greatest evolution is his game as he's really stepped up as a point guard as well. Had 8 assists. I think 5 of them came in the second half and a couple of them down the stretch to Jalen Williams. Here's a guy that at times is a black hole, especially last year, but that's really the evolution of his game, Tom, is his willingness to trust his teammates, especially in big-time situations, except for maybe the Bama game.
Yeah, and Calipari put it really well. That they just ran it through him. I mean, he dictated the offense. He took the most shots. He had the ball in his hands most often. And Eric Musselman describes him really as a natural 2 guard who had to adapt to being a point. And those little slip screen plays that he ran with Trey Wade back to back early in the game, those were huge, like, tone setters for, okay, if your man's going to cheat off on me and trying to trap me, then I'll find the guy whose man left him. And Wade got 2 dunks out of it. And he has wraparound passes. He's got the whole repertoire. And he had 5 turnovers against Kentucky. But just what a great floor game for J.D. Note. And he did it with such an audience. That, SEC basketball is watching, and the nation's watching. I think that probably solidified him a spot on the first-team All-SEC squad.
Yeah, probably so. Another guy that might be in that conversation is Jalen Williams, who, he only had 16 points, 12 rebounds, fighting through some second-half illness. Talk about his performance a little bit. And then also Kamani Johnson, who comes in, only gives you 8 minutes, but it was 8 minutes you needed when Williams wasn't feeling his best.
He really did. They were good minutes, good physical minutes. I think he got to do a foul from Sheboy on a rebound. And by the way, side note here, I thought the officials called it, I don't know, people say like a tournament game because there was a lot of banging, and this was both sides. So I'm not just harping on any particular bad calls, but there was so much contact over the backs on rebounds, bumping, what have you. And it used to be my opinion that the SEC would play that way and then get in the NCAA tournament. And if you had officials calling a lot of contact, then your best players would wind up in foul trouble. But this dates back a while. They're like Glenn Big Baby Davis days at LSU, that kind of stuff. But you just got to be very careful if you run into a crew that's calling everything. Sheboy would have been in foul trouble in the first half. Very, very physical guy. But Williams had a massive game, and I thought it was funny. In the lead-up, the Kentucky players are talking about, and I think this was Kellen Grady, saying that, yeah, we're really good at shooting floaters. We know that he draws charges, but we shoot really good floaters, and then if we see the guy trying to do that, then we'll throw lob passes. Well, they didn't really I don't know if they got any lob dunks in that game, maybe a couple of lob plays that they caught and put in, but very, very minimal on that. And he didn't draw a charge in the first half, but I think he got a couple in the second half because he just does what he does. And he just, when you think about his contributions, yeah, I think they're all SEC worthy, and just a phenomenal kid too.
But he's in a year where you've got Kessler, you got Deshibwe, you've got some great big men in the league. So he probably won't make that list as one of the forwards this year because of just how good this league is. And the one thing that Jalen's been able to do, and again on Saturday was on display, is test himself against the best. Sometimes those opponents like Kessler and like Deshibwe on Saturday have big games. I think it also points out, hey, here's the things in Jalen's game. While he's great at taking the charges, he's great at getting the blocks and some assists and the rebounds, there's some things with his offensive game that got to get tuned up before he's probably ready for professional basketball.
Yeah, agreed with that because he's got a decent mid-range game. I mean, he's got a decent jump shot, and he's teams are letting him shoot. Kentucky let him shoot those threes, and he wasn't on. And I would say this for him. I think he's a smart, he's got the sense of the game, like moments and things like that. But I think he overshot on Saturday a little bit. A lot of jumpers. Of course, when he's doing that, then you don't have your best rebounder down there unless he follows his shot. And I don't know. I just think he's just a perfect kind of a college player that loves what he's doing, a rah-rah kid, great attitude, and certainly hope he's back next year to refine some things.
Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports with us here on the Morning Rush. Tom, a couple of national things for you. MLB, players and owners reportedly still far apart after what's called a productive day yesterday. What's going to happen this season? Are they even going to play, or is it just going to be a much shorter season? I know we touched on it a little last week.
Yes, we did. And if you'll remember, I just look at the headlines. I do not care to know whose side's not giving and what's holding things up. But I did see a tweet last night from a guy, and I can't remember who it was, but it's somebody who's really in the loop in the game, and he doesn't cover it so much as he was. I think he's a former player. He wrote that the sides are much closer than what the media reports will have you to believe. And I can't remember. I think it's the luxury tax, he said, is the final sticking point. So if they can get to the luxury tax number, this thing could come together quickly. And, I'm for that. I'm for that. And then I'm for Freddie Freeman re-upping with the Braves. And if that happens, things will be pretty good in my universe. And I don't like the idea of missing a bunch of spring training or missing any games. But we could be on track for at least a partial loss of something.
Also, Dow Loggins, Tom, not going to get hired at Kentucky. They hired some other OC. I don't remember his name. But how important was it for at least now for Arkansas to retain Dow Loggins, the tight ends coach?
Well, yeah, super important. And I think Dowell's long game is to one day, be the head coach for the Razorbacks. And if you were here 1 year and then gone, that might not be a good look for wanting that job. And, there's other guys out there, like I think Barry Lunny Jr., Tim Horton has wanted this job for a long time. And who knows, maybe one of those guys will be the right fit at the right time down the road. But I do think, he'll need to be an offensive coordinator again, and he understands that before he can be a head coach. So I think it's just good to have him. He's done very well on the recruiting trail. They got some good tight ends coming in. And if Arkansas can have a similar offensive season to what they had last year, who knows where Kendall Briles is at that point. The time's getting very, very close for him to get his first head coaching position. I think Razorback fans were worried that the dominoes that were falling in Texas over the last offseason between, SMU, TCU, there were several, and then like even a Louisiana Tech, that could be the one, where people peg Kendall Briles. So, Dowell's got a great relationship with the people here. He's a savvy dude, and I hope they have another good offensive season, and the tight ends are, more of a productive part of that in the catching game.
Before you go, let's touch on baseball quickly. Arkansas does win 2 of 3 over the weekend. They dropped the middle game in a doubleheader, the first of a doubleheader yesterday to Stanford. 2 top 10 teams, 5-0 Stanford in that ball game. Arkansas could not get the timely hits in that game, struggled at the plate early against their lefty Quinn Matthews, and then had bases loaded with no outs in the ninth and couldn't plate a run. Come back to beat Louisiana 6-4 in the nightcap. Just some thoughts from you over the weekend as Arkansas does pick up 2 of 3 again.
Yeah, and if I sound a little weary, it's because I was up well past midnight putting all that stuff to bed. There was a palpable sense of frustration because there has, Jalen Battles' 3-run homer in the 8th. That's the timely hit for this team on the season, if you ask me. If I did my numbers right, they hit 180 in Texas. They chased out of the zone against Matthews, and Dave Van Horn said they didn't do it all fall, didn't do it against their own pitching, and they're doing it now. So it starts with plate discipline. And then Matthews was just he was in the zone or in close to the zone so much that when they saw pitches that looked like they were close, they chased and they'd break outside. So, I don't know. The veterans on the team need to steady the ship, and that means that Moore and Caden Wallace, Jalen Battles have to keep hitting and then hoping the new guys. Lanzilli's done some work. And, Zach Gregory had a good game yesterday too. So those veterans just keep doing what they do, and maybe the young guys will come along because I think the team batting average is down in the 230s right now. And, they have not gotten like a bases. They haven't gotten a hit with the bases loaded. They're 0 for 10 with a couple of walks and some force outs at home plate, but like not one sacrifice fly with the bases loaded, or just a high chopper on the infield where you just score the run. So just moving runners over and doing the fundamental things, I think, is step one for them, and then maybe the hitting will come along.
Omaha on Wednesday, Southeastern for 3 this weekend. We'll see if they can get those beer hats going and get runs across the plate this weekend. Tom, good stuff as always. We'll talk to you Thursday.
Outstanding. See y'all.
All right, Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat, is that with us every Monday and Thursday here on The Morning Rush. It's Hot Take Monday. It's brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. That's where you get a lifetime warranty on every new unit they sell. If you've driven by Wheels on 412 lately, you notice a big selection and a big inventory. So if you've been other places and not much to choose from, not all the slide outs and features you're looking for, you'll find it at Wheels RV. Again, 5 miles west of exit 72, off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
Eric Musselman talked about the toughness of Jalen Williams during the second half because apparently he wasn't feeling too hot at halftime.
Because Jay Will was sick at halftime, didn't know what we were going to get out of him energy-wise, and he kind of sucked it up and fought through it. And Kamani had one offensive rebound that was really crucial as well, because it's against Kentucky, they get so many extra possessions, and they did tonight too. You look at the shot attempts; they got 8 more shots than us. You look at the 16, 18 offensive rebounds. It's a possession game against them. But again, take the W.
Give credit to Jalen, who's had to guard both Colin Castleton and Oscar Sheboy this past week. That is not an easy task for anyone in college basketball, regardless of how good of a defender you are. And with him not feeling 100%, Tommy, you just add that additionally to all that.
Yeah, Muss is talking about the offensive rebound disparity is 16-8. Kentucky led there, but it's just -7 overall. You kind of expected that with Sheboy and just his dominance and his presence inside, but give Kamani Johnson. He didn't put a lot on the board as far as points with just 1 bucket, but those 8 minutes he played were critical for Arkansas just to be in there and kind of bang around physically, not let Sheboy put the game kind of out of reach or a few possessions more out of reach for Arkansas at that point.
You hadn't beaten Kentucky back-to-back games since you beat them back-to-back in the 2014 season, so that was big. You beat them last year in Rupp, and you beat them this year in Walton Arena. It's always fun to be able to say that. Here's a stat for you, and I'm forgetting the origin, so whoever came up with this, I apologize for not giving you credit. Arkansas has 32 conference wins under Muss. This is his 3rd season. Stan Heath had 31 in 5 years. Pelfrey had 25 in 4 years. Mm-hmm. Think about that. The 3rd season isn't even done yet, and Muss has more conference wins than both Heath did in 5 and Pelfrey did in 4. And do they play more games now, though? It goes from 16 to 18, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I guess that's
part of that. They had divisions, and there was a different conference scheduling setup, and obviously expanded, and you played more games since expansion. But you're right; he's had some more opportunities. But I think your point, and the point to the stat, is still the essence of what you're saying is still there.
Yeah.
And why do you pay coaches $4 million a year? Right there is your evidence. Hey, we're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort, the place to kick back and relax. What kind of weekends your dad have at Gaston's?
Great, Tom. He was sending me the prime rib and the chicken fried steak.
Man.
He said he couldn't finish a meal a single night because of how much food it was.
So always good to take back to the cabin. I'm sure he watched the Baylor game from there and enjoyed that. Great views of the river. Do you do any fishing, or is he just relaxing?
They're more just experiencing the nature of the food.
Yeah, and they got a great nature trail, great place to do some walks and enjoy. If you like airplanes and aeronautics, they got planes coming in and out of there on their grass strip all the time. So it's just a good place to enjoy nature, enjoy the White River. There's other stuff in the area you can drive to and go see as well right there at the county line below the dam. It's all at Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Eagles Nest is coming in hot.
Hi folks, matchmaker Larry Rath here with a sweetheart of a deal from Rath Auto Resources. I'm on a mission to help you find the nicer, newer car of your dreams. So if the thrill is gone with your old ride, come see the best selection of Rath Road Ready vehicles we've had in over 2 years. Each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Just find the one you love the best and let our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do the rest. With discounts up to $4,100 below retail and the highest trade-in values ever, you'll be head over heels for the deals too. Gonna make it work with the car you have? Let us give it the attention it deserves in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. But hurry, this deal will be over quicker than your first crush. Start driving better today in a nicer, newer car you love from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Don't you just hate that? Sitting in a tire store waiting room while your car's being serviced? That's the last place you need to be with work and kids and the 10 million things you need to be doing. Well, don't. Free shuttle service. Pickup and delivery free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier. Hi, Kim Bircher. 3 locations, 1 in Van Buren and 2 in Fort Smith. One stop. We do everything. So you don't have to go from place to place for tires or service or repairs or maintenance. We are local. 37 years and voted best of the best time and time again. We will pick up and deliver or shuttle you so you don't have to waste your time. Honesty and customer service is always our #1 goal. We will make your life much easier at Jody'sAuto.com, JODYS Auto.com.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Did you invest in real estate only to find out that real estate takes up too much of your time? If you answered yes, then it's time to make a call to the experts. With more than 30 years of combined property management experience and more than 16,000 units managed, Trinity Multifamily are the ones to call. Get your life back. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey. Oh,
yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
So Arkansas beats Kentucky by 2, 75-73. Great game. Now, the important question that I asked Muss is something that you kind of inquired last week. You've won all these games with the sling. You going to keep it on?
Yeah. From a medical standpoint, yes. We've been winning a lot of games with that sling. I hate it, but I have 2 bosses, Hunter and Danielle. And 2 separate occasions, I've been told to leave it on. I don't want to. I hate it. I pray every night that I'm thankful that we've won like we have, because it has not been fun coaching with it. But it's been one of the funnest times I've ever had coaching a team because of the difficulty of the schedule and the way we've been winning. But I don't wish a torn rotator cuff in the middle of a season on any coach of any sport. I promise you that.
Bob asked him a follow-up if he was going to wear it or not. He just kind of gave him the we'll see. That would be kind of funny, though, even if it wasn't medically required, that he kind of kept it on just because of the streak.
I've been knock on wood. I've been fortunate not to have to wear a sling before, but for really anything for more than maybe a day or two when I was a kid. But I can't imagine having that thing. And they early on, he had the one with the pad that you see, and then he's kind of scaled that down a little bit. But that can't be fun. I've seen a few pictures and some videos. I guess there's times of the day he doesn't wear it, but during games, I think for safety's sake, that's where he keeps it. So I think it's a good luck charm, though, at this point. You're right.
It kind of is. With that good luck charm, quote-unquote, Arkansas.
But he had it on at Bama, too, right? So I guess it didn't work there.
Guess not, but they had one. They now won at 13-14. They were at 12-13 prior to entering Kentucky. So we'll see what he contemplates that decision moving forward. We had Joe Lenardi on last week, and we were talking to him about just where Arkansas is as it stands in his bracketology. Well, they continue to rise. He now has them as a 5 seed, still not within the top 16 as a 4 seed, but they are in that next seed line as a 5, and they win this week. They beat both LSU and Tennessee. You could see them rise once again.
Well, as you get the hay in the barn for the season, one game can't change the picture of the season dramatically at this point. You're getting some quality wins. If it was more focused on your last 10 or 12 games, I think Arkansas would be a 2 seed or something like that at this point. But it's based on what you've done this year. You've got pretty good resumes. Great over the last 14 games. But, at the end, probably a 4 or a 5 is probably the ceiling of where you're going to be at, it appears, at this point.
Yeah, and we'll have to wait and see where this team ends up. Selection Sunday quickly approaching. It'll be here before you know it. Sam Pittman's going to be speaking Wednesday at SEC Media Days. That's going to take place July 21st or 17th through the 21st is, I think, what I told you last week.
I put it on my calendar.
Okay. I believe it's, or maybe it's I think it's the 18th through the.
That sounds more correct.
18th through the 21st
Roll
is
forward
what it is.
Here. I believe it was,
He's going to speak the Wednesday, though. Kirby Smart and 2 other coaches are going to be speaking with him. I think this is the first time in a while. Nick Saban's speaking on Tuesday, so he's getting out of the way early, so that'll be the.
You want to avoid him if you want to get your message out. You want to be there a day that Nick Saban is not there.
So that'll be.
But Kirby's going to get a lot of attention that day too.
He will, just coming off a national championship. He deserves to. Arkansas women's basketball goes to Starkville, beats Mississippi State in their regular season finale, 87-79. The SEC tournament for women's basketball this season taking place in Nashville. So I know Phil's excited about that. Arkansas softball beats Louisville 8-5, and then the men and women's track team, Jack and Van Buren wanted to make sure we give them credit this morning because they win the SEC championships once again.
Yeah, the golf team's playing down in Cabo. They're hosting a tournament there. I should go cover that.
You should.
That's what I should have done, is with the Cabo to cover that. They got beautiful courses all over that region, and mountains meet the sea. That's an awesome place to be in February, I promise you.
Bobby Portis was in attendance for the Arkansas-Tennessee game, not this past Saturday, but Saturday before. He also had a career high in 3-pointers against Brooklyn on Saturday night.
Betagrupo back up top. Portis tries it again. Bang! Bucks back up by 1. Portis erupting with 28 points. Durant can't believe it.
I know that Hall Warriors love him. I know that Arkansas Razorback fans love him, but man, Milwaukee Bucks fans love Bobby Portis. It is incredible to see the praise that he gets up there. And if Arkansas plays in Milwaukee, it's a good chance you're probably going to see Bobby Portis in attendance for that first and second round game. I
guess you have to look and see where the Bucks are at, but
hopefully they're home that weekend or so that he can play. I hope that's the case, but I guess they wouldn't be because
they're playing there. That's just what I was thinking. Are they playing in a different arena?
I guess they won't be able to play, which would be a bummer. I've heard
he's gonna have work to do that weekend.
Yeah, I heard the Deer District is a really cool place up there. I've never been. Got a chance to go to Madison this past year. It was a lot of fun, but I think that would be a cool place. I don't know. So I told you Lenardi had him as a 5 seed. I don't know where they're at. I need to go double check that real quick. But again, I'm even talking about it a little this morning. Even if they got a 2 seed, they're probably going to still give that Fort Worth to either Kansas or Baylor, who was probably going to be one of those teams are going to be 2 seeds. So
the path is so narrow to it. I mean, you just think about what you'd have to win out and win the SEC title to even have that, and then have some other teams lose as well. And Baylor and Kansas maybe not even get to the Big 12 title game. So many things have to happen. I just think after this last weekend, with all of the bloodshed at the top of the college basketball polls, some of them greater upsets than the others, I think there's going to be a more razor-sharp focus for some of these better teams down the stretch run here.
That's going to do it for your Hog Update. It is brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
I think a good chunk of Hog fans are going to make their way to Tampa next week. I know we're going here on ESPN Arkansas and hit that line.com.
I think there'll be good representation. I think when the team is winning and the team is good, you show up. Now, if it was drivable, a lot of fans went there for the bowl game. That's the other thing that you got to contemplate is,
does that help or hurt that? If they had a good experience, does that help it? That was the question I was thinking.
Good question. I mean, if you've been, though, you've been. Because part of the trip is to see the city, to eat in its restaurants, to hang out at its finer establishments or whatever. You kind of did that, 2.5 months ago.
And that's what I was debating back and forth because from what I was told, Tampa was a great time. All Arkansas fans that were in attendance, the festivities, the beach, everything that went along with it was fantastic. But like you said, you just did it.
Yeah, for a lot of fans. Now, for some that didn't go to the bowl game, maybe this is the reason they didn't go. Well, we're going to the SEC tournament. A lot of people will plan vacations around the SEC tournament. I wish the SEC tournament and spring break in the state of Arkansas could somehow line up. It's spring break in Arkansas. The next starts the 17th or the 18th through the 26th or 7th or whatever. But so it lines up with the NCAA tournament. You can make a case for that. But I think if you could plan around it, because you know where Arkansas is playing. The NCAA tournament, you don't know the destination. Yeah. You at least know it's in Nashville normally or Tampa this time. There's a few. They've moved it to St. Louis. I wonder if it'll ever get to Texas. That would be fun. We wish it'd get to Simmons Bank in Little Rock or North Little Rock, but that doesn't ever seem to be in the cards. Memphis, for whatever reason, can't get with the SEC.
Does Little Rock want an NCAA tournament again? They had in 08. It was a great time for those who went. I got a chance to go with my dad and my brother. I loved it, but I don't know if it was successful for the city itself. That's a better question for Asa Hutchinson or Frank Scott Jr. Is that something that Little Rock, because you can't do it in NWA because of the hotel situation, right?
Has that changed? I don't know about. First of all, I don't know what Little Rock's stance is on that, or if they bid again. I don't know. But to me, when you have those kind of events, that just elevates kind of the status of your city. So I don't think there are probably enough hotel rooms to host that many teams and that many fans. And your airport's getting to a point where you probably can get more flights inbound to X and A now. So down the road could Northwest Arkansas host one? You've got the facility at Walton Arena. The question is, do you have the infrastructure to go with it?
Yeah, that is a question I was thinking about. What is also, I think, a kind of a bummer, this is not the year you want the SEC tournament to be in Tampa. You want it to be in Nashville. 8 hours from Fayetteville, 5 hours from Little Rock, 4 hours from Jonesboro. That's a much easier trip. Now, Lexington, Kentucky fans being 3 hours away, they pack it out. And I'll give Kentucky fans credit. That place is – I hated – when I lived there, I hated it because, Tommy, every single bar on Broadway was just decked out in Big Blue Nation. It ticked me off. I asked one of the bartenders, why do y'all do this? It's because we have all Kentucky customers. It drove me nuts. But I wish this tournament was in Nashville rather than Tampa this year.
And that's why, it's centrally located. A lot of people can drive. It sells more tickets. But Tampa, Tampa's a little bit warmer. And I think you got to change it up every 4 years or so. I think you just – if not, it burns out in the city.
Memphis, kind of like you said, I think Memphis would be – Arkansas fans would love that. If they somehow –
the city of Memphis and the Southeastern Conference can't seem to get together on any of these type of events. I don't know why.
It's his fault, right?
No, it's not Memphis' fault whatsoever. They have done everything bent over backwards to try to get –
It's just too much corruption in that city, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what it is. All right, Hour 3 coming up. Officer Breen's phoned in. We'll get to him next.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Day 209 on the island. There is still no rescue in sight. I long for the simple comforts of home. The leather seats, the spacious interior, the 12.3-inch touchscreen display, and of course, the panoramic moonroof. If I could only gaze through it one more time.
Jerry!
What?
Stop talking about your Highlander and help me with the raft.
Frank seems more agitated than normal lately. Could it possibly be because he too misses my Toyota Highlander?
No, Jerry, it's not because I miss your Highlander. And stop acting like I can't hear you.
Yes, that must be it. Comparing his sad raft to my sleek-looking Highlander has finally broken him.
Just stop.
Experience the unforgettable 2022 Toyota Highlander for yourself. Visit your local dealer or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at toyota.com for feature availability.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
River City Bistro is Fort Smith's favorite place for lunch, dinner, and brunch. Open 7 days a week, both on the patio and cozy dining room. River City Bistro, locally owned and open weekdays 11 till 8, Saturdays 10 till 8, and Sundays 10 till 3. Want River City Bistro curbside to go? Just search on Facebook or Instagram for River City Bistro or go to rcbistro.com. River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center. Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren, 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out on the web at artriallawyers.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunshine. Our high today will be in the lower 60s, mainly clear sky tonight. No night low, right around 35 degrees. Tuesday, lots of sunshine. Our high in the mid to upper 60s. Wednesday, sunny skies. Our high will be just over 70. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Don't let mosquitoes ruin your outside fun this year. Call Mosquito Joe to keep your yard mosquito-free. Call 479-202-9960 or visit ArkansasMosquitoJoe.com.
You're listening to The Morning Rush live from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3 KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
They're taking them off the floor. They are taking Kentucky off the floor early in case there's a rush. So the Kentucky bench is leaving early.
They shouldn't do that.
They should not do that, or at least not while the game's being played. I'm not sure Cal didn't send it. Free throw's good. Hogs are going to win it. Kentucky drops it into Washington. 2 seconds, 1 second. 3 at the horn is good, but it does not matter. It does not matter. The Razorbacks have knocked off Kentucky. Arkansas makes it 13 wins and 14 tries. They pull even with the Wildcats in the standings. And let's listen to them roar at Bud Walton Arena.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
I hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just gotta keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
You had over 19,300 people in attendance in Bud Walton Arena. Also, millions more watching on television as Arkansas took down Tennessee 75-73. Now, if you gambled on Arkansas and you got them at 2 or 2.5, you were disappointed with Ty banking that 3 in the end. But that's really the only thing you were disappointed in. Arkansas has shown, not just Kentucky, Auburn, Tennessee, but the rest of the SEC, that they are playing at an incredible clip right now, and they're here to stay. Big games this week against LSU and Tennessee. We're going to react more to that Arkansas win in just a sec.
It's part of Hot Take Monday that's brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Great selection, on-site storage, outstanding award-winning service department that can take care of every need, including paint and body shop as well. It's all right there. And don't forget the lifetime warranty on every new unit they sell at Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
J.D. Note is playing like an All-American. Oscar Tshiebwe is an All-American. It was the Tshiebwe versus Note show, and they both played great games. You could say what you want about Oscar Tshiebwe. That young man can play the game of basketball. Great rebagger, great scorer. His presence inside the lane, which I know some of you were getting irritated with because you felt like he was staying in there too late. He is so technically sound inside the lane, his positioning, and it's got such a soft, feathery floater that I know frustrated a sick Jalen Williams in that second half. But what a game it was, just back and forth, particularly in the latter stages of the ball game. If you're an Arkansas or Kentucky fan, obviously the Razorback Red Nation is a lot happier this morning, but just an outstanding game if you didn't necessarily have an affiliation to either side.
Oh, it was good back and forth. Early, Arkansas took a double-digit lead. You knew that wasn't going to last, and some people were getting upset because Pete Gillum, who was analyzing the game for CBS, even made a comment. I got 2 or 3 tweets back at me about, this guy's in the bag for – listen, I mean, anyone watching that game knew Kentucky was not going to just go quietly into the night. You had to weather the storm. I really was kind of concerned that Kentucky was playing bad early because I knew they weren't going to play bad for 40 minutes. You needed to play bad down the stretch, and Arkansas just outplayed them down the stretch. But that was a woeful first 5 or 7 minutes for Kentucky, who couldn't get an inside look to Tshiebwe or refused to for whatever reason. Arkansas defended the outside perimeter well, and Arkansas shots were going in.
And they couldn't hit anything coming out of the second half. There was a drought where Kentucky kind of overtook that lead, and then Arkansas finally got things going thanks to really Jalen Williams down the stretch. He scored, I believe, 10 straight points. He had the and one on Tshiebwe, which was his second, got Tshiebwe to foul him again, which was his third, knocked down some more free throws, hit a floater, and then also hit a about 10, 15-foot jumper at the corner elbow spot of the free throw line. So Jalen didn't shoot well, particularly in the first half, had a couple open threes that went in and out. And then the second half in that stretch, he really played well. But the thing about Jalen Williams and some of the other guys on this team, even if they're not shooting well or they don't have the best box score, which Jalen is a walking double-double. He had another good box score. There's so many little things that these guys do that you don't necessarily notice, particularly Trey Wade and Audice Toney. Audice's defense on Kellen Grady. Trey Wade kind of getting the team going early on that 15-2 run. Must always make sure to applaud them in the post-game press conference because when you just look at the box score, sometimes, Tommy, it doesn't tell the full story for those two gentlemen.
No. So, I mean, Arkansas is playing as well as anybody in the country right now. And I was really surprised the net ranking didn't bump a little bit more because you beat what was in number 3. Kentucky drops from 3 to 4. Arkansas moved up 1 from 24 to 23. I guess because there's so much data in over the course of 29 games, it's harder to get more movement in one game at this point. And then there were so many losses at the top of the net rankings this weekend as well. But for whatever reason, that formula did not favor Arkansas much as far as upward movement in the net rankings poll over the weekend. We'll see what the AP poll, which really bears no weight or holds no water, does with the Razorbacks this weekend, or today from this past weekend. But right now, Arkansas is staying at 23 in the net rankings, which disappointed me a bit.
Where do you think they wind up today based on 7 of the team's top 10 dropping? Does that affect – because Arkansas was at 18, correct? Yeah. Does that affect Arkansas?
Arkansas moves to 13 today in the poll.
I'd say that's probably a good estimate. They win both these games, assuming there's some shifting in the top 10 this next week. You could find yourselves in the AP top 10, which you haven't been since middle of December, I think December 14th.
But watch that net ranking. That's one of the key things that the committee pays attention to. And this is your last week for that because once you go into the conference tournaments, they kind of lock that up. So your final net ranking is going to be determined on what you do this week.
Both are quad 1 opponents in LSU and Tennessee. Doug in Mountain Home texted in. He wants to know if we've used the phrase, it just moons more this morning. For those who don't know what Doug is talking about, during the first half, Oscar Tshiebwe is at the free throw line, and there was either a husband and a wife or a boyfriend and girlfriend. The girlfriend had lifted up her shirt, still got a bra on, and then the man turned around and was showing his bare butt to Oscar Tshiebwe. I don't know if Tshiebwe made those free throws or not, but I did not see that during the course of the game. I guess that's directly parallel with me, so I'm not looking at the stands directly to my right, but had several Morning Rush listeners send that to me after the game. And
did you pick it up at first?
It took me a sec like it did for you.
I was like, where's Waldo? Because I knew that they were sending the photo. I guess if you're Mountain Dew, you're really happy. Your image was on the ribbon boards at that point because that photos went everywhere. And yeah, I mean, you had to really kind of zoom in to find Waldo. It took a few seconds because I thought it was probably something in the student section. So I'm looking through all these, blue and white sharks over here, and I couldn't find it there. And I'm scrolling. Then you get right above the clock. Oh,
there it is.
There's the full moon.
Is there any less validation for Arkansas's wins? The LSU one does not mean as much. I know still it's a quad 1 opponent, but they're not ranked, and they're not nearly the team that people thought they were. The 3 best wins have all come at home, i.e. Auburn win at number 1, Tennessee win last week, and then Kentucky this past Saturday. Is there any less validation that you think maybe selection committee people or whatever will be holding against because their home game? Now, if they win at Tennessee this weekend, that's a different story because you can add that to your repertoire. But that is something I think people are looking at because everyone knows that Walton Arena is a hostile environment. It's very difficult to play in. And that is just – and I know you're given the schedule you're given, and Arkansas has dominated it as of late. But is there any less validation you think people could hold that against them because of that particular reason?
That's a good question. Because you're not going to get to play at home in the NCAA tournament. You're trying to get the seedings right. So I think the net rankings obviously take that into account because of the way they measure quad ones on the road versus neutral versus at home. So that's a good question. I don't know. Unless you're on that committee, I don't know how you answer that question. But I see the point that you're making here, that do you get just a little less – do you get fewer bonus points because you won those games at home versus beating those ranked teams and the number one ranked team if you'd done that at third place? I think you obviously always get more credit when you do it away from your home arena.
Yeah. Now, JT in Hot Springs texted me that Arkansas is a top 10 team in the country right now. What I said, and I think it's fair, and Muss or the staff or the players may not like it, I want to see what they do in Knoxville this weekend, and I want to see what they do in Tampa next week. Yeah. That's fair for me to hold out in the NCAA tournament to reserve judgment on this team. Not to say they're not playing great right now, but again, the best opponents that you've beaten this year have all been at Bud Walton Arena. You've beaten teams when you haven't been good inside of Bud Walton Arena. This team's good. Don't mishear what I'm saying. But again, I want to see what they do in Knoxville this weekend, who, by the way, Vols haven't lost a home game all season. You go into Knoxville this week and beat them, in addition to beating LSU, and then have a successful outing in Tampa where you're not going to have – how many Arkansas fans you going to be down there? 100? 50?
In where?
In Tampa.
In Tampa? Oh,
50? 100? Maybe?
I think it'd be more than that.
More than that?
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a lot. That's not going to be a home atmosphere whatsoever, as will Knoxville this weekend. If you can win in those environments when you don't have 19,000 Razorback red or white or striped screaming in favor of you, then you're going to really know about this basketball team.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on that.
Good thing is you know you're playing on the weekend. The bad thing is you can't just drive to Nashville if they make the finals and pick you up a ticket on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
You can't just drive to Tampa for one game. People would drive to Nashville just for the championship game.
Yeah, it's 8 hours from Fayetteville, 5 hours from Little Rock. It's just it's a different story on that.
Officer Breen, we're getting ready to go, and there, call us back. I don't know if he lost his line or what. So, but yeah, I mean that's the thing with Nashville is you could make a last second plan on a Friday afternoon to get in the car and maybe get you a Saturday ticket, maybe hang around for Sunday. So. It didn't always work. Didn't always work out, or it's not going to work out to just drive to Tampa.
Southwest Conference Championship was in Dallas,
Reunion Arena,
Lexington, Atlanta, and Nashville, St. Louis, and Tampa. Is that where the SEC tournament's been?
Have they been New Orleans? They've been to New Orleans.
Been in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, Reunion Arena is where they had it every year, and Arkansas would just take over that place in the Metroplex. So. Be a lot of fun. Our old buddy Officer Breeden has phoned in this morning. Officer Breeden, how are you today?
Oh, it's another day in paradise. First of all, for the most important part for the drivers in Northwest Arkansas, if you're between exit 82 and exit 53, interstate's clear. Of course, we know it only takes one person to bounce off that center media wall up around anywhere in the Fayetteville area, and traffic stops.
Yeah. Well, rubbing is racing. So.
Secondly, nobody, and I mean nobody, in their right mind would wear that shoulder harness as a good luck charm. Having had 4 rotator cuff surgeries, those things are really a pain. And let me tell you how bad a pain it is. Just try going to the bathroom by yourself with that sling on. Just try that.
Yeah. You have to become ambidextrous all of a sudden. Use your offhand. Dribble to the left.
Yeah, you can dribble to the left, you can be offhanded, but things sure can get messy, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I understand. So
I don't think I've ever used my left hand in the restroom before, now thinking about it until you just said that.
Make him go left.
That's why in the Middle East they don't even have toilet paper, they just have the water hoses.
The Middle Eastern bidet. What you been up to, man? We haven't heard from you. You doing okay?
Oh, yeah. Well, I did a little fishing up on the White River, and I've been doing a couple of jobs on the security side. So, yeah, it's been busy, and now we're just taking life a little easy, trying to find the next spot to go crappie fishing next time.
Yeah, well, if you get any extra crappie slabs, bring them by. Come by and say hello one morning.
All right, we'll do it, sir. Y'all have a great day.
All right, good to talk to you. So, when you look at kind of where they're at heading into this last week, I think you want to win on senior night. I think there'll be a big push for that. I think it'll be a tough ticket, even though it's a Wednesday night. And we were talking earlier, having that extra day seems to always be there in the schedule for Arkansas. You're not playing on Tuesday at home. You're playing Wednesday at home against LSU. We talk about rebounding from that emotional, mountaintop you were on. You had that extra day after the Auburn game. You had that extra day after Tennessee. Now you got that extra day after Kentucky. The schedule has just seemingly always set up right for when you catch an opponent after emotional games for your opponent when they come in. So once again, I think it kind of sets up well for Arkansas with playing on Wednesday against LSU. Hey, Officer Breen talked about doing some fishing on the White River. Whether you're headed to the White River or you're headed to the lake, take along the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue. It will help you catch more fish, whether it's in a heavy current or whether you're working extremely slow. This rogue will suspend, and it will stay in the strike zone longer, allowing you to catch more fish. You can find it at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops all over the place. It's the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
If you got a best and worst of the weekend, now would be the time to share it as we dive into it this morning.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
We the best.
This is the worst.
It's time for the best and worst of the weekend.
The highest recorded decibel in college basketball history was in 2017 when the Kansas Jayhawks played the West Virginia Mountaineers. Right before tip-off, Bob Wischusen, Dick Vitale on the call. It was an incredible game where West Virginia ended up losing to the Jayhawks as they furiously came back. Now, Arkansas, I think, has gotten up to 115. I want to know what it was when Devo ran the ball with about 14 or so seconds left after getting a pass from Audie Tony and getting it center court. Because Mike Irwin of the Pig Trail Nation told me that is the loudest he's ever heard Bud Walton Arena after the game. Was dead serious, looked me straight in the eye and said, that's the loudest I've ever heard it. I'd like to know if that was that point and just the game itself was the best of my weekend. I've got a few Kentucky friends that I've not interacted with just yet. I'm waiting kind of towards the end of the week to bring it up, but that was an incredible basketball game where Arkansas came out victorious.
All right, so I'm watching the game with some buddies Saturday, and we've got it on the screen. Devo gets fouled, goes to the line, and I've got a friend who made a halftime wager for $50, but Arkansas couldn't win by more than 4.5. They'd taken Kentucky in the point for the second half. He put that down at halftime. So Arkansas was poised to win by 5, right? And he's over there whining and moaning because he bet 50 to win 130. And I'm like, well, hang on. Maybe if Arkansas makes these 2 and that 3 doesn't count, he'll get an uncontested look from half court or something and bank in a 3. And I'm saying that as Devo shoot these lines, and he goes, he'd already basically written off the loss of $50 on this deal. Well, we know what happened. Free throws go in, Arkansas's up, half quarter or just inside half quarter goes in, and the room erupted. If you didn't know any better, you'd have thought it was Kentucky fans in there, because he went from down 50 to up 130 in about a nanosecond. So that was awesome to watch. Watch your buddy who, had one of these exotics or whatever at halftime that he placed and cashed in on that 3-point basket. So for everyone else that lost on the half point or pushed on the 2-point line, if you bet it at game time, I know one guy that 3-point basket helped at the end of the ball game.
So is he going to use that money wisely or just use it for more betting?
Oh, he'll waste it on future bets, yes.
Betting, beer, and food.
It was just fun. There were 6 or 8 of us in the room, and I mean, everybody was rooting for him.
Good for him, because he was one of the, as you said, the few Razorback fans that probably won money during that game.
And if you had done the happy hedge and you had taken Kentucky and you got, so that helped you there too. So depend on which way you were betting on that game.
What's crazy about that game is we mentioned this last week. Kentucky opened up as a 2.5-point favorite. It switched to Arkansas 2.5.
It's all about when you bet it.
Yeah, and the reason that's nuts is because you would think because of that Wheeler and Ty weren't going to play. They both played, and both had an impact on the game. Now, they weren't fully healthy. I think you could clearly see that in that basketball game. They didn't start. They went on that 15-2 run. to start the game. Arkansas didn't. They came in quickly, but they both had an impact. So credit to Arkansas for, again, striving Kentucky's best punch, especially late in the second half. Now, my worst of the weekend, I was glad Tennessee won because I'm getting a little irritated with, and I'm not one of those guys. I typically like trash talk, and I like getting into it, but I'm not a huge fan of dancing on the logos, and Auburn does that every single game.
You think they had to learn their lesson?
Yeah, and they did it in Arkansas, and you heard Muss say they danced on our logo before the game. We watched that. You could tell. That's the first thing he said to Alyssa Lane post-game. Not about the game itself, not about the win. The first thing he said in the Alyssa Lane post-game interview on ESPN was that exact phrase. Tennessee saw that. They lost to Florida. Florida saw that. You got to stop doing. I mean, you want to do it, but it ain't helping. And if they do it in Starkville on Wednesday night, I hope Starkville and Bill and Howland see it, and I hope they play inspired, not just to help Arkansas maybe get first overall in the SEC tournament and give an outright shared title of the SEC regular season, but just it irritates me to watch that. And again, I like trash talk. I think it's an element of our game that we've lost to a certain extent as long as it doesn't get over the top. But that, to me, is just like, and then you cry about it if you're an Auburn fan because you keep losing. It's like, well, don't give teams more motivation. You're already highly ranked. Coaches don't, or people don't like your coach. Don't give them even more motivation to beat you. And they do that every game, especially on the road.
Sports-wise, not a lot to complain about. A fun college basketball weekend in Arkansas wins, so not a lot to complain about. But at home, we had the ice storm last week, or whatever you want to call it, the sleet storm, thunder sleet. So couldn't get up the driveway and was working through that. You know what I didn't realize till like this weekend? Missed trash day. Couldn't get the trash can to the street. Good. So that's my worst of the weekend. You got a full trash can, now I got to wait all the way again till Friday.
Yikes. You have a family, too, so that's even worse.
I have to haul some bags to work and put them in the company dumpster or something. I don't know what we're going to do. That was the worst to realize. Oh, no. And not only did I miss normal trash week, I missed the recycle can week. So I can't hide the styrofoam and all the stuff that's non-recyclable down in the bottom of the recycle bin now. Stuff something down in the bottom of that, But, rough. It's going to be a rough week. Hey, sports fans, the best and easiest place to bet online is BUSR.com/Morning Rush. All the NCAA March Madness games are going to be there. They'll have a great bracket contest with thousands of dollars in prizes. If you like movies, you can bet on Academy Award winners and the Oscars. BUSR has everything possible and everything available. Sportsbook, racebook, live casino. Games are safe, they're fun, and it's secure when you go online. Here's the best part. Go to BUSR.com/Morning Rush and get a 100% deposit bonus. You put in 100, they'll match 100. You put in 500, they'll match 500 when you sign up right now. That's BUSR.com/Morning Rush. Bet with confidence. Bet with BUSR.com.
Talk more Arkansas basketball coming up, including an excellent quote from Musselman.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
Ashley Air is a proud sponsor of Razorback Athletics. Heat up your home with a free furnace when you purchase a qualifying new system from Ashley Air. And till February 28th. Get no down payment, no interest for 72 months on qualifying systems. And the Ashley Air Quality Assurance Guarantee, their 12-year parts and labor warranty. Get a free furnace when you purchase a new system from Ashley Air. Just go to ashley.air.com to schedule your appointment. That's ashley.air.com.
Sports fans, sick of the Omicron and the coronavirus? Fed up? You've got the coronavirus blues, but baby, we have the cure. Wash your hands, sign up, and play with BUSR.com. At BUSR.com, you get everything. A casino, racebook, and sportsbook. Play blackjack, roulette, and over 200 casino games. Bet on sports, horses. Want more? How about a 100% deposit bonus exclusively for ESPN Arkansas listeners? Just go to BUSR.com/Morning Rush. That's BUSR.com/Morning Rush. BUSR, the cure for your coronavirus blues.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
We will make your life easier. Jody'sAuto.com will pick up your vehicle at your office or home or wherever. Take it to one of our 3 locations in Van Buren and Fort Smith. Perform any service your vehicle will ever need and deliver your vehicle back to you. Hi, Kim Bircher with Jody'sAuto.com. No missing work, no finding a sitter, no sitting in a waiting room, no wasting your precious time that you don't have. Many of our customers tell us, you're saving me money. Pickup and delivery, it's free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. With our 3 oil change specials, you're going to find adding $10 will mean nothing. And we always have free shuttle service. You bring your vehicle to us and we will take you and pick you up in our vehicle. Honesty and customer service is always our #1 goal. We will make your life much easier. Jody'sAuto.com, JODYS Auto.com.
Save up to $5,000 and get a free saltwater system upgrade when you create the backyard of your dreams this summer with Burton Pools and Spas. Hi, Tommy Kraft here for my good friends at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. Right now is the time to plan that backyard oasis, that backyard of your dreams. Save $5,000 in the month of February when you sign up now. And I'll tell you what, Burton's is going one extra. Be one of the first 7 families to stop by or give them a call at Burton's and get a free upgrade to the saltwater system. This makes taking care of your pool so much easier and will save you a ton of money on chemicals each and every month. That's a nearly $2,000 upgrade. You get it free when you call right now at Burton Pools and Spas. Save $5,000 and get a free upgrade this month at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, they are your source for backyard fun.
Do you remember the joy you felt as a kid about pizza night? Remember how good it smelled? You could taste it even before you opened the box. And then that first bite. It was so good. Be the supper time savior. Order Jim's Razorback Pizza now. 434-3456. The best pizza in Fort Smith, or it's free.
Jim's Razorback Pizza.
Chapel Ridge Health and Rehab in Fort Smith is hiring dietary aides, CNAs, and LPNs all shifts. Chapel Ridge Health and Rehab is a newly remodeled 5-star rehab and long-term facility. Full-time positions qualify for benefits such as medical, dental, 401k, and vacation. Chapel Ridge Health and Rehab wants you to become a Chapel Champ team member today. Please apply at Chapel Ridge Health and Rehab, 4623 Rogers Avenue, or fax resume to 478-1014. That's 478-1014.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands, with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Note drives the lane, dumps it underneath. Jalen Williams jump hook good. Williams in the paint, scores the bucket. Hogs by 1.
Watch The Morning Rush on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Just search Hit That Line.
That music and Chuck's highlight, they just go perfect together, you know?
It's synced up perfectly.
Yeah.
Hutch just texted me over at Hogbeat, said the worst of the weekend was a combination of Flow Sports crashing and Arkansas's bats. That's the worst of his weekend for Arkansas baseball.
You are right, Hutch. So, hey, tomorrow's March. And that's hard to believe, too, but March Madness is almost here. That means mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas will be in your backyard again soon this spring and summer. Called Mosquito Joe of Arkansas. They're an Arkansas family-owned business committed to making outside fun all spring and summer long all across the state. For mosquito, tick, and flea-free yard this spring and summer. One call to Mosquito Joe will get it started. 479-202-9960. That's 202-9960. Or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com for more details. Get your first service this year for only $39. That's $39, arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
Nelson from Harrison's phoned in this morning. Nelson, you've got some thoughts on this Kentucky game, don't you?
Yeah, I do, Ty. You were there, right?
I was there. It was awesome.
Right. Was you at Auburn?
I was at Auburn, yes.
Okay. I really felt like, looking around, scanning the crowd, Auburn, you could see seats everywhere. This game here, there was very few seats that were not taken by somebody. It was crazy. And, the Auburn game was different because it seemed like everybody was standing up. They never sat down, and it was loud the whole time. It just seemed like a buzz the whole time. This game here, though, it exceeded Auburn. Whenever it got loud, it got loud. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really felt like the moments that this game got loud, it totally exceeded the Auburn game as far as volume. But I really, truly feel like that this game had the seats were a lot more full than they were at Auburn. Because I was sitting in a row at Auburn, and it was me and 4 other people on the whole row.
I thought it was full for Auburn, but maybe Tennessee had a few seats. But, I mean...
Yeah, no. Auburn had a few seats because it was me and 4 other people on the row I was on, and then a whole row full of Auburn fans in front of me. And but this game here, it was like a sardine factory. I mean, you were in your seat, and there was no way you was moving because it was full.
Here,
you wasn't going to get a concession. You wasn't going to the bathroom because it was crazy. But also, guys, I do think that the Auburn game was great. I mean, it was awesome. It was really, really, the energy was there. Like, everybody was standing up. This game here, though, whenever it got loud, like the moments with the block shots at the end and Devo moment, that was as loud as it could, possibly ever get, I think.
Yeah, it was.
And one more thing I want to talk about, guys, is that video or that photo of that guy mooning. How come all them people have?
Was that you, Nelson?
No, that wasn't me. I wouldn't do that. I'm not that proud of my posterior or derriere. But but if you look at that there, the colors that them people are all wearing just don't match up with the way that place looked. It was striped out. It wasn't a bunch of those colors that are in that photo around that guy would have stuck out like a sore thumb. So I don't know. The photo may not be real because I didn't see anybody getting taken out of the arena, and those colors are odd colors to be in a bunch of red.
That is, I think Matt Jones, Kentucky Sports Radio, was the first person to post that picture, Nelson, so who knows. Now, a couple of things. You mentioned a good amount of stuff there. There were a lot more people, butts in seats for the Kentucky game at the start.
There was one butt not in the seat, though.
Yeah, for the start. That wasn't the case for Auburn because it was a 6 o'clock Tuesday night tip. Me and Phil hauled you-know-what over from the stadium shop doing our pregame show, and I parked at the farthest link because all the cars were in
every
the
spot
lot,
was going.
basically.
You were lucky to get a spot.
Yeah, it was 20 minutes out, and I'd never seen it that way. The fans made their way for that game, butts and seats early, like you were talking about. The other thing, there's a contrast when the white versus red with the Auburn, but there was white and red in the Kentucky game, so you probably couldn't see as many seats because if there's red on red, you're just not seeing as much. I thought what you said, though, about the crowd noise is exactly right. The Auburn game was hyped the whole game, but the loudest point in either of those games was when Devo ran off with about 14 seconds left. It was more up and down. Not to say it wasn't loud and obnoxious most of the game, but the Auburn game I thought was more steady Eddie at the top, but the Kentucky went past it a few times. I would say that was accurately described by you.
Kentucky hatred. I mean, you just hate Kentucky. You can say what you want about Auburn, but Kentucky they're the Texas of basketball. They're the team you love to beat the most. So I think the fans put a little more into it, and I think you're right. You were able to arrive and get in your seat comfortably for a Saturday start than rushing from work or trying to get through 5 o'clock traffic and the game and all that on a weeknight. Hey, Riley Farm Dental's there for you. I promise you they're excited today about that big Hog win. Dr. Sparkman, that's what he'll be talking to patients about before he takes care of their teeth, whether it's braces, implants, or cosmetics. Get by and see Dr. Bo Sparkman, Dr. Brogan. They love to take care of their patients, make it comfortable every time you visit the dentist. The second you walk in the door, you'll feel like part of the Riley Farm Dental family. Learn more at RileyFarmDental.com. That's RileyFarmDental.com, or call them at 226-3500. That's 479-226-3500 for Riley Farm Dental.
When we come back, your SEC update is next. I want to talk about kind of what the setup looks like this week for a certain number of teams.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase in dire straits originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why he feels so far away." Jesus said the passage to God is a narrow way, and he promised when he went so far away, the Holy Spirit would be here to stay. This isn't some hunch or intuition, but a conviction navigating you to God's holy word. When you have a real relationship with God, you have the person of the Spirit living inside you, guiding your walk of life every step of the way. Don't trust your feelings. Look up John chapter 16 and see if it sends you reeling. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage, is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
In stock now and available for sales on these dates at the Golf Nut. TaylorMade Stealth Carbon Face Driver February 4th. Cobra LTD X Woods Hybrids and Irons February 11th. And Callaway Rogue ST February the 18th. Check out the selection of golf bags from Sun Mountain, Ping, TaylorMade, Titleist, and Callaway. The Golf Nut also has a great selection of Scotty Cameron putters. Check Facebook for daily specials. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your #1 golf shop since 1994.
Hi folks, matchmaker Larry Rath here with a sweetheart of a deal from Rath Auto Resources. I'm on a mission to help you find the nicer, newer car of your dreams. So if the thrill is gone with your old ride, come see the best selection of Rath Road Ready vehicles we've had in over 2 years. Each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Just find the one you love the best and let our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do the rest. With discounts up to $4,100 below retail and the highest trade-in values ever, you'll be head over heels for the deals too. Gonna make it work with the car you have? Let us give it the attention it deserves in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. But hurry, this deal will be over quicker than your first crush. Start driving better today in a nicer, newer car you love from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Are you looking for a new place to call home? Whether you're looking for an apartment, duplex, townhome, or a house, Trinity Multifamily has you covered. They even have options in surrounding states, from Texas to Michigan and Kansas to Tennessee. If you're looking for a new place to call home, make Trinity Multifamily your first call at 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Ashley Air. Keeping your home comfortable is what they do best. Trust them with your heating and cooling needs. Go to ashley.air.com to request service today.
I brought this stat up earlier on the show, and I think it's worth repeating. Tennessee, Auburn, Arkansas, and Kentucky are a combined 64-1 at home. 64-1. The only team that's lost is Arkansas to Vanderbilt earlier this season. That goes to show you that Thompson Bowling Arena, Rupp Arena, Auburn Arena, Bud Walton Arena are tough places to play. You're trying to break another streak on Saturday, Tommy, with Tennessee.
Kind of think about where you'd be in the SEC if that one loss had not happened or you won any of those first 3. I go back to the fact that, if Arkansas had not had those losses and didn't learn those lessons, didn't get kicked in the hind end, would they be 13-1 right now in this 14-game stretch? Those battle scars probably are what made you who you are today at this point.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it. Now, you heard Tom Murphy talking about earlier. He listens to the other team's broadcast, and Tom Leach is the play-by-play guy. Tom, actually, even though he's a Kentucky play-by-play guy, really nice guy. I had a great conversation with him in college, and he kind of walked me through the industry, gave me about 45 minutes of his time. Really good dude. They were talking about how Oscar Tshiebwe deserves to be SEC Player of the Year and National Player of the Year. I'm curious. Jabari Smith at Auburn, Oscar Tshiebwe at Kentucky, J.D. Notae. If J.D. beats all of them and goes into Knoxville,
shouldn't he be?
Should he not be the SEC Player of the Year? Now, listen, all those guys, Jabari Smith's going to be a top 3 player draft in this upcoming NBA draft. Oscar Tshiebwe is an incredible basketball talent. That is we talk about Jalen Williams being a walking double-double. He's averaging, I think, 15 or 16 rebounds a game. It's insane. But, the record and the stats against JD's averaging 23, shooting 46%, and is right now 4-0. He's got 16 assists in those ranked opponents' games, plus LSU.
How he's done against the best could maybe stand out a little bit more, but
he's showcased himself in these games, Tommy.
And the record's going to be similar. I think in the end, it's you'll probably see a lean towards Auburn and Kentucky though when it comes to those kind of single individual player of the year type postseason accolades.
That is going to be an interesting discussion if Arkansas let's say Auburn drops against Mississippi State on Wednesday. If Auburn and Arkansas and Kentucky are all at the top, and Arkansas, again, has wins over all of them, including twice against Tennessee, we say a lot of time it's the best player on the best team. Well, if you just look at the record itself in this league, that could be Arkansas. Now, again, that's lofty. We'll see if Auburn loses to Mississippi State. Just something to think about as we continue on this week. And speaking of this week, Kentucky plays Ole Miss at home on Tuesday and Florida on Saturday. And then Tennessee plays Georgia on Tuesday, U on Saturday. Auburn plays Mississippi State. That game, I think, is on Wednesday. And then South Carolina at home on Saturday. So that's kind of the setup. Like we said, Arkansas got the most difficult schedule of these four teams at the top of the standings right now in the Southeastern Conference.
And our buddy Scott Blair texted in, I think, a great point earlier. Do you want to try to get a piece or a share of that conference title, or do you want those teams ahead of you, Auburn and Kentucky? I say ahead of you in the league standings, even though you beat them. You want them to keep winning because doesn't that help your national seed that bit more? You're trying to move up the net rankings. I think that's a good line of thinking. Or you want a piece of that conference title to be that one seed. You know, that's irrefutable evidence as well. But there is a case to be made that the more they win, the more it helps you. I know it doesn't help if the national seed and where you're at in the bracket for the NCAA tournament is paramount to you. That's the line of thinking. Mm-hmm. If it's having the pride and beating your chest about a share of the regular season conference title, there's nothing wrong with that path either.
Because what would have to happen is you'd have to win both games, and then Auburn would have to lose either at home to South Carolina or on the road at Mississippi State the same time you're playing LSU, which, again, it's probably not going to happen. It could, because Auburn has not been the same team outside of Walton Arena that they have been in the jungle, so we'll have to wait and see what Tigers squad shows up with Bruce Pearl in Starkville on Wednesday night. Great quote from Eric Musselman on Saturday. I asked him about recruiting and how much easier it is for official visits and unofficial visits with an atmosphere like you had on Saturday.
I haven't read all my text messages, but I mean, I got a group of guys that I went to college with that are blowing my phone up about, is that place really what it looks like? I mean, they live in San Diego and San Francisco and Oakland, and I mean, this place is magical when you're winning. And I think from a recruiting standpoint, it does nothing but help you. And you know what? When Coach Pittman's team won this year, and we brought recruits to the game, like it helps everybody. I mean, when teams on campus are winning and there's crowd generate and there's our recruits enjoy going to baseball games. It's an insane environment there.
That video has picked up steam. It's got about 35,000 views of Arkansas fans trying to get the message out to other recruits. You had a good number of recruits in attendance this Saturday. All of you saw Jordan Walsh and Nick Smith Jr. Maybe if you were watching on television, you didn't see. They called the Hogs at a point in the game. You also had the number one center in the country there, Bay Fall, his cousin Hassan Diop, and then also Layden and Landry Blocker. Layden's at Sunrise Christian, the number one high school team in the country. He went to Little Rock Christian. His younger brother, Landry, whatever, is the younger of the two, and he's at Little Rock Christian now. All 4 stars or better, and you're going to keep having these people come to your house if you keep winning, you have places, and you have atmospheres like that. Got
one more to go on Wednesday night against LSU, and maybe a good tournament run. They'll all be requesting tickets for next year. All right, that's your SEC update. It's brought to you by Ashley Air, proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics. You can heat up your home with a free furnace when you purchase a qualifying new system from Ashley Air. And through today, no down payment, no interest for 72 months on qualifying systems, and the Ashley Air Quality Assurance Guarantee, their 12-year parts and labor warranty. Get a free furnace when you purchase a new system from Ashley Air. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your appointment. That's AshleyAir.com.
Last home game, as Tommy said, this Wednesday night against the LSU Tigers. You beat them once in Baton Rouge, and you really want to beat them again. This is senior night for a lot of guys on your roster, and it's cool that they got to experience a full capacity Bud Walton Arena. I mean, how many fans? What do you think the maximum amount of fans that Stanley Amude played for in front of home at South Dakota? Like 4 grand?
They love. I was gonna say they love their basketball up that way, but yeah, I'm gonna say it's way under 10,000.
And he was the alpha there, top 10 scorer of the country. But I think if you, and we asked him, I didn't ask him, I think Hutch or Bob asked him about him transferring over. I think he would tell you he made the right decision. Now, he's not still scoring as much. I think he was averaging like 18 or 19 at South Dakota. He's averaging like 11 here at Arkansas. But he's been a key. He hit 3 monumental three-point baskets in this game, and the 2 others were close as well. When he is shooting like he has, 40% from behind the three-point line in SEC play, that adds a different element. We were talking about Devontae Davis before the game. Devo didn't have his biggest impact game, but he still made some free throws down the stretch that proved to be the difference.
Gave you some breathing room at the end.
Yeah, he did. And I want to see what kind of team this is moving forward with those guys continue to step up, because I think you know what you got with JD and Jalen, but if those 2 guys continue to progress and maybe our D starts shooting a little better and Trey can give you those few points here and there, it's going to be a tough team to beat, man.
We were talking about in our Fence Man Friday picks on Friday, the free throw disparity, and I was pointing out just the season averages, just taking a look at the free throw attempts and makes, and that ultimately proves to be the difference. Arkansas got 4 more attempts, and they made 5 more free throws than Kentucky. I mean, you can boil it down, and there's a lot of things that played into favor of Arkansas winning in this game, and J.D. Notae's performance was huge, but still at the end, this game, it's amazing how you look at the free throw disparity, and oftentimes who made the most free throws will win the game at the end in these games like this.
And speaking of J.D. Notae, they just put this out, Muss just did, that he was the ESPN National Player of the Week. So, again, not Player of the Year, but Player of the Week. He's getting nationally recognized. That is going to be a fascinating topic if Arkansas continues to win, Kentucky continues to win, and Auburn continues to win. Who is the Player of the Year? Because I think there's a legitimate debate for Notae, Smith, and Oscar Tshiebwe. I think they might just give, what I think is probably going to happen, they'll give Jabari Smith the Freshman of the Year. They'll give probably Tshiebwe Player of the Year.
And Notae tube socks.
Yeah. No, I don't know if there's a most improved, because he just won 6th man last year.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he'll win the most improved, but that is going to be a fun discussion to have.
Yeah. You want to squeeze Jared in here before we go?
Sure.
Jared in Russellville. Hit it.
Hey, guys. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good, man.
Awesome. Hey, I just wanted, one point I wanted to make about Saturday's game was this, that even though Biddy had an awesome game, he didn't score actually the last 8.5 minutes of that ball game. What's really cool about that is that all the other guys stepped up really good and everything, and that means we're a complete team. And that's what I really like about this ball team, is that he has a means to step up. Like you said, Amelia made some big shots, and then Dylan had those 10 consecutive points. But that's really cool that even though he made everybody better. And so it was a really cool experience for me as a fan. So I hope you all have a great game. God bless.
Thanks, Jared. Yeah, he doesn't do that last year, to your point. He's taken those shots. But what JD has done with his game, he's expanded it, he's evolved it, and it's been to the pleasure of Eric Musselman and his staff. He's finding guys. He had a couple dime passes, 2 to Trey Wade consecutively, a great kind of under Tshiebwe pass to a cutting Audice Toney, and he's made a couple other plays as well. That continues to, again, when all eyes are on him, when he's getting doubled, he's making the right adjustments, the right plays. There's a couple turnovers he had, but that was good defense from Ty Washington and some of the other guys that were defending him. He has expanded his game. I know that they were talking about point guard play earlier in the season. Well, Eric Musselman has for sure found one in J.D. Notae. Maybe the unorthodox way, because he's still a scorer, primary first guy, but he has definitely, again, taken over that role for Eric Musselman and this basketball team.
He's never seen a shot he didn't like.
Nope.
Just Saturday, most of them went in, and that was the difference in getting 30 points. Is biggest games, the biggest stars come out, and he's making the shots. He made 50%. That's the thing you pointed out that's so accurate about the way he played. Is look at the numbers, not just the points, but half of the shots went in. So this wasn't like he was, 13 of 40 in this ball game and then made some free throws to get to 30. He was very efficient in his performance on Saturday, 13 of 26 from the floor.
Yeah, last time to say this stat, 23 points per game against top 25 opponents, 16 assists, 46% shooting. That is what he's done against top-tier caliber opponents. He'll have another opportunity in Knoxville on Saturday and another chance to impress against LSU on Wednesday night.
All right, it's been a Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV. They're 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Big selection right now, on-site storage, wonderful service department, and that lifetime warranty on every new unit they sell. You'll only find that at Wheels RV. Again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
Clay Henry, the publisher of Hogs Illustrated, Whole Hog Sports, will join us tomorrow. We'll get his reaction and more of your reaction for a Toyota Tuesday. For Tommy, Drew, I'm Ty. Everyone have a great Monday.
Day 209 on the island. There is still no rescue in sight.